two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man.
Nothing happened this past week. Like, real slow week in gaming news. It's never slow, Sarge. It's never, like... It literally could be nothing happening up until like Thursday morning, and we would have enough content to talk just on one freaking story for the entire show. So
It's perpetually every week in gaming is the meme with the little dog in the room that's on fire.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same meme every
comes
week.
in with the pizza and the things.
And it's just everything's fine. And we're supposed to just keep saying everything's fine. Well, everything's not fine.
Yeah.
A matter of fact,
Naked Gun. Everything's fine.
I don't even want to
Calm
talk
down.
about
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about what we played in a week. I just want to talk about the re-release of the Star Wars game because I'm just so I'm so fucking angry about it. Like I don't even care about what I've been
playing. And you didn't even play.
No, I watched a bunch of videos.
Yeah. Well, on today's show, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront, the collectors that came out, classic collection, I should say. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sweet Baby Inc. thing, but we're not going in to give you what our thoughts are. We're talking about it because it's in the thing. We talk about the top stories in the past week.
I thought we were supposed to give our thoughts. Isn't that the whole point?
Well, no, we are. But what I'm saying is we're not. It's more of an info of like the things that are going on and why it's going on.
You don't want to rant.
Yeah. It's not a rant. I mean, it's so big now, Sarge, that Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire is now talking about it, and he hates video games. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Helldivers a little bit. They just did the update today. We'll talk about that. We're talking about other layoffs that just happened. We're going to talk about Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is adding its first season pass in the game, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Google develops an AI. I talked about that in the morning show a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts. And we have actual footage now. Sean Murray posted footage of SEMA, which is the AI that was playing games by itself. So we have footage of that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. Analysts say that this is the most important thing ever to release. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we're also going to talk about Spider-Man: The Greater Web, right? So a lot of the stuff that our show today is called The Deception of Inception. Okay, so lots of lies going on, lots of things in the industry going on. So, you know, I feel like the title's spot on. So let's talk about what we've been playing. I just saw you put in chat, Sarge. I actually was going to ask you, did you hear what's going on over there? But I won't before the show. But so what have you been playing, Sarge? What have you been playing this week? I know you want to talk about the Star Wars thing, but you didn't play that. So what did you play before we get to that point?
I don't know. Maybe I'm having a mental breakdown. For some reason, I'm concentrating on Division 2. I don't know why. Like, I'm finding pieces of gear I specifically want. I'm actually leveling them up, trying to build a different build. I think I'm lost in the trough of the broken game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't feel like playing anything because I refuse to play broken games.
Okay. So why don't you play games that are not broke?
I mean, I find that the Division 2 holds my attention the best. I don't see I play for a couple hours and then I stop.
Well, that's why you still play the game. I mean,
yeah. It's just chaos right now. It's just chaos. I don't understand how the industry is where it is right now.
Sarge is already trying to hijack it to something else. No, We're staying on topic, Sarge. What you been playing?
Everything. That's it. I play Division 2. That's it.
Sarge is trying to take it and segue it. No, we're staying on topic right now because I got things that I played. I played. I played Brotato. Okay, I played Brotato.
It's about time. You're only about 4 weeks behind.
Okay, so I played Brotato, and I have a couple videos up on our other channel, my 30 and Still Gaming channel. I've converted that channel yet again. We're now just putting raw gameplay and stuff up there. So I played Brotato. I have to say, it's actually really fun. Now, the difference I like about Brotato compared to what I'm playing in like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor or Vampire Survivor is that in Brotato, once you level up, you don't level up during the actual match. You have to survive, and then you pick what you want and upgrade. Where in the other survival games, as you level up, then you're picking the stuff that... so as you're leveling up, you go. In Brotato, you have to wait till the end, and the timer has to go down. And on top of that, you have to... Yeah, it's a thing still, Rachel, because it came to Game Pass, and I didn't play it 2 years ago, and now it's on Game Pass, and now I'm playing it. So, I didn't know there was... I didn't know there was a time limit.
No, I didn't know that Brotato already came out and you got to pay for it, and now it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's been out for like 2 years. Yeah, maybe 3 years, I think. Yeah. But the timer keeps getting higher and higher as you go. What's the top level? Is there a max level?
You to clear a level, you have to reach level 20 and kill the boss.
Oh, I was on 20, so I got to the boss. So if I beat him, that would have been the game. Then that would have been cleared the level.
You clear that level.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It is fun. I kind of still like the Deep Rock Galactic Survivor better, just because it's more than just running. The Brotato thing, I think the map's a little too small.
No, it's not. That's perfect for letting your brain do nothing.
See, I like the Deep Rock Galactic Survivors enough where I'm digging stuff, I'm collecting things, I'm doing stuff, getting the orbs. There's lots of little things.
You're not supposed to think with Brotato. You're just supposed to.
Yeah, no, you just walk around.
You just kind of move.
Yeah, so I like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, and I also like Brotato. I also like Vampire Survivor. So yeah, played Brotato. Another game I played Bolt Gun. This is the Warhammer.
I tried.
40K.
Tried it. It looks like Warhammer Doom.
Yeah, it's like Doom
way back in the day.
Yeah, it's like
couldn't do it.
It's okay, right? Like I didn't hate it.
If you've never seen a first person shooter before, I'm sure it's great.
Yeah, right.
But I have seen every first person shooter ever created.
See, I think if a game like that came out when we were younger, it would be. I understand that, but I'm saying with 40K, like if I didn't play for 43 years of my life with all these other games, Bolt Gun would have landed with me, and I would have been like, "This is amazing." But because I'm 45 years old, I've been playing 43 years of my life, or 42 years of my life, Bolt Gun was just kind of like, it's good, but it wasn't great. I played, I think, the first 3 levels or whatnot. I thought the animations were fine. I liked when you melee someone. Just when you play a first-person shooter, it just feels very limited to what they wanted to do. And I get it; they're trying to make it look and feel that way. But yeah, I liked it. Didn't hate it in any way, shape, or form. But Bolt Gun was another fun game that I played. And then I also played Super Mario Wonder. Okay, I played Super Mario Wonder with my son and my wife. We played that obviously on the Nintendo Switch. This is a fun game. It's a little different. It's got this it's like you're high on drugs, right? You're playing through the game, and then all of a sudden you hit this little flower, and then you warp into this wonder, right? And then the board kind of morphs into something else, right? And then you have to find you might go down a pipe, and then it goes to the way back of the it's a side scroller, right? But you'll go through the pipe, and then all of a sudden you end up in the background, and then you're trying to get things in the background, and then while your friends are up in the front, still fighting things up in the front. There's a lot going on, lots of new little mechanics and stuff they do. Lots of fun with Mario Wonder as well. I think we got to World 2 when we played it last week. Lots of fun though. Nintendo knows how to make a game, man. It doesn't. The graphics, I have to say, even for the Switch, from coming to where we were as kids to mid-gen to next-gen to the Switch, if they ever get Mario to the high end graphics of like a God of War or something like that, you know what I mean? Or even like, like a Spider-Man, yeah, freaking amazing. You know what I mean? Like it looks really good in the cartoon form that they have it in, but it's so, I don't know why they haven't made another cartoon TV show just based on the animation they have inside the Switch.
We're in cultural decay. Nobody's willing to do anything positive about anything that we used to like as kids. I went back and thought about it. Like all the games have come out recently that were fly by night good games that no one talked about, but they just came out and they were just good. Like how easy would it be just to be a drop in, drop out game of just a DC Hall of Justice game where like you pop in, you're a hero, you pick a hero and you just go out and fight crime.
Yeah, just something real simple, right?
Right, just something simple. Just something to get it back in, and then when you go out and you find guys, you find them, you unlock another hero, right? And I'm talking about the old school.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not the original 5. Like you go out and you find everybody.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying.
You find Apache Chief, you find Electro, you find everybody. You have to go out and you find the rest of the team.
Ray asks, "Are you playing the Ultramarine or the Blood Marine?" You know what? I don't even know.
The cover box is Ultramarines.
Whatever the default guy is,
it's Ultramarine.
Okay, so I was using the Ultramarine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I played maybe 45 to an hour in the game. I'm gonna go back and play a little bit more, but Dupla said they'll make Mario gay black guy and Peach is a trans girl. They're keeping the doors open, Duplas. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of like just simplistic, right? Okay. This is part of what I've been playing, but also top stories. So I'm gonna switch it over to top stories. All right. So top story / what I've been playing. Last night, I got a code about 4 hours before I went live about the Star Wars Battlefront Classic. Okay. The Classic Collection. And I was excited for it. And I played, and you can see, you know what? I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up my little gameplay that I had last night on stream. Okay. We're gonna mute it because obviously they've destroyed me monetarily. I can't play Star Wars games on stream because they take everything from you. They're just like, no, you can't play the music, right? Let's see. So let me bring it up. All right, so I'm playing the game, and I'm playing just the PvE, right? I'm playing Battlefront 1. I'm just playing the regular game PvE, and I'm enjoying it. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Brought me back 20 years instantaneously. I was like, this is so much fun, right? No problems here. Nothing's wrong with the PvE aspect of this game. So let me state this. If you're picking this game up, right, you see all the stuff that's going on. If you're never ever going to play online and you're just playing Galactic Conquest and you're playing through the campaign stuff of 1 and 2, nothing's wrong with the game. But if you play on multiplayer online, out the fucking window. It's a piece of trash. Okay, it's a terrible. I don't care if you want to call it port, redone, re-release, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's absolute trash. Okay, it's so poorly bad. When you guys were watching me play last night, you guys were like, here, let me go later in the stream where we're playing in Hoth. Okay, and I'm playing through, and I can't shoot people. Okay, because they're moving left, right. They're skipping through. Here, let me get to a spot where you can actually see. Okay, you can't see people because you're trying to shoot them, but then they're moving. Okay, or their thing doesn't show up, or it's glitching. The hit detection doesn't work. Like all of this stuff happens during the online aspect of this game. And I was like, all right, well maybe it's just because it's opening night. I find out later that they only had 3 servers. 3 servers. Okay, that's less than 200 people that could play the game. Okay. Out of 10,000 people that had the actual game, they were getting destroyed. Okay. Is that true, Water? Did IGN give it a 7 out of 10? Right? 200. That's right. 200 people could be online at one time when the game first launched before midnight. And a couple hours after midnight, they released more servers. Okay? The fact that you're like confused by this, that you're like, hey, you know what? This is one of the most beloved games back in the day. It sold a shit ton of stuff, so much so that they redid it for EA 15 years later, right? or 10 years later, okay? For the remake of Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 from EA. That you couldn't do anything. Obviously, you can't shoot the landmines. You have to throw a grenade or blow it up or something like that.
You can shoot them, just you can't shoot them in the game you were playing.
Is that true? Someone told me you have to use a grenade.
I don't think so.
I don't remember. It's been so many years since I played this game. Okay. But the fact that Aspire, okay, let me bring up some stats here. Okay. Let me bring up some stats here. Aspire had a tweet, or not a tweet, but bring it up. Okay. Aspire so far has fumbled the KOTOR remake so badly that the project has transferred to another studio. Okay. Aspire has promised DLC for KOTOR 2 on Switch that was canceled after almost a year of silence. Okay. And now Aspire botched a port of 2 Star Wars games from the early 2000s, and that only needed decent matchmaking and quality of life fixes. Okay. This is what Aspire has done so far with these Star Wars games, right? The remake of KOTOR, the KOTOR 2 of the DLC, and basically a shitty port of what they have. Like, this game was made. The game works. If you didn't buy this version of the game, Sarge, and you just went to go buy the other version that's been out for 20 years, it works fine. Okay? The difference is 32 instead of 64, but it's mind-boggling to me. Let me show you a clip that we just found off of Twitter. Okay? This is someone's clip of what's happening to them when they play online. Okay, here we go. Oh, I gotta shut the volume off.
I think I know what video you're talking about. I think maybe his video card is messed up.
This is what's happening on his game, right? And you can watch other people. There's a crap ton of stuff happening with this game right now. Okay, this is like the hot topic of what's going on. Okay, this is like I don't know if you want to call it a cash grab. This should be embarrassing.
That's exactly what it is. It's a cash grab.
Right? This is embarrassing.
There's no other way to look at a game that's 15 years old and you release it broken for $35.
Yeah,
it's
20 and 19 years respectively, right?
It's a cash grab. I think the difference between 1 and 2 they came out like 2 years apart.
One year apart. 2004, 2005.
Was it 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember this planet in the movie. Yeah. Oh my God, they've gone from to plaid. That's
they've gone to plaid. Yep.
That's what's happening there.
There's no recourse or repercussions for them releasing bad games. The only way, and I mean this sincerely, the only way this stops is if you stop buying, stop pre-ordering. You just stop. I went on Steam today, and it was a mistake, especially when you're in a video game. When you're in a video game lull, and you go on Steam, it's bad news. Just so you know, there's way too many games.
Oh yeah, there's like 1,000 games a week that come out.
Way too many games. So much so that I said to myself, "Why would I ever buy a piece of shit ever again?" That's how many games are on Steam.
That's just it, though, right? There's so many games out there that you never have to buy a brand new game ever. You have enough games and I'm not talking about shitty piece of shit games. I'm talking about there's so many good games that come out in the last decade that you would have plenty of games to play without ever buying a new game.
They didn't test the game. They just did what they did and sent it out the door. They didn't test anything.
The problem, okay, this is before microtransactions. This was just make a game, sell a game, and back in the day, it's exactly what it was. They made a game, they sold the game. People love this game, right? This is why people loved it so much. Like, oh, I can't wait to play this game. Like, the nostalgia is a fantastic drug. Okay, we talked about it last week or the week before. certain games you go back and you play. You were saying you go back to Atari, you might play it for like 5 minutes and then put it down, right? But then there's certain games. I played that game for 3 hours last night. Okay, and after I was done streaming, I actually went back and played Galactic Conquest. Right, I played Galactic Conquest. I wanted to play Galactic Conquest, but I'm so distraught. Okay, this has damaged me, and I mean this, right? I had a thought process of I'm a content creator, right? I have to get new games to be relevant in the thing. But after getting the free code yesterday from this company, I don't know if I want any new games. I honestly, because every game, doesn't matter if Pal World came out, Pal World had shitty servers when it came out. Suicide Squad, shitty servers when it came out. Okay? Last Epoch, I haven't played it, had shitty servers when it came out. Helldivers, shitty servers when it came out. Battlefront 1 and 2 Classic Collection, shitty servers when it comes out. I don't know if I ever want to get a brand new game day one, week one, month one. I think this has broke my back. I think a game that's 20 years old that I absolutely love to death broke me last night. I was like, you saw it live on you saw it live on stream last night. I was enjoying the PvE. I was like, this is great. This is so much fun. And then Eclipse or Dolphin said, "Hey, have you played online yet?" I said, "No, I'll go try it out now." I started playing. I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" I was like, I can't shoot, right? I was like, I can't see people. I can't hit anyone. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Right? And then I was like, I'm done. So much so, I ended the stream last night by going to play the 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2 just to, at the end of the night, clean my palate to be like, all right, this is... And I'm comparing it to a game that was broke, buggy, when before it launched with the microtransactions in it, to clean the palate off of last night of some game that was 20 years old that I absolutely loved.
It's hard for me to even imagine that we're at a point where they know they can lie directly to your face and release a pile of trash and no one does anything about it. There's no penalty. There is zero penalty for doing what they do. The only way we stop this is we stop buying. You have to stop buying. You have to let them rot. You have to let them at least wait a couple weeks and ask the question, why isn't anyone buying our game? Like, that needs to happen because this stuff goes on always now. This is standard. The standard is releasing an unfinished product that's broken and you have to go back and ask for your money back. Like, that's a standard thing. There's no actual, we make a product, we're selling a product. This is bad. This is getting bad, bro. Like, I don't, if you believe that I'm such a gamer that I need to play video games in order to fill my hours of the day, you're mistaken. I play games because they filled a niche in my imagination and my fun because I enjoyed playing the art that these guys made over the years. Right. And I'm talking about all games, not just specifically EA and Battlefront 1 and 2 originals. But if you don't think for a moment that I can pull myself away and find something else to do and spend $0 on video games, and I don't think I matter. And I know that. I know for a fact that I don't matter because I'm the old guy in the room. I get it. But if you, the young people, don't stop buying this total cash grab crap, right? Gaming does not change, right? Everything they do is to squeeze you for a little bit more and to give you something that you didn't ask for, right? The game doesn't work. It doesn't work day one. It doesn't work month one. They promise you it's coming out. The dates are always a lie.
Yeah,
right? It's a forever ongoing process. And some Yahoo in the back of chat is screaming at the top of their lungs, "I love you," and they'll do anything that EA tells them to do. It's like, you're hopeless. You're hopeless, right? Don't be a gamer beta male, right? Just don't stop simping for the game companies.
What Eclipse just said. He said, "I completely broke me on Cyberpunk, made where I stopped pre-ordering stuff, but I figured a 20-year-old game, there's no way they could mess that up, right? I guess not." And that's what I'm
Hold my beer.
Right. That's what I'm so pissed about, right? I was like, there's no way they could throw this game out and make it fucked up. There's no way, right? The game's out. It's already out. You could go to Steam before it launched yesterday, okay, and buy the original one, and it works fine. They put out supposedly a better product, and it shit the bed. It shit the bed.
Yeah, so we now know that the minimum viable product price for a game that you don't attempt to try at all, you just port it from one system to another without testing it all, is $35. We know that doing absolutely nothing and just porting a game over is $35.
I should have known when the internet. Here's what's funny, right? The internet wins all the time. A couple weeks ago, the internet, we reported it on this channel. The internet said that Aspire, during their trailer, showed that they were using actual footage from mods. Okay,
yeah.
Should have realized it right then and there. This game's coming out. It's gonna be broke, buggy, and unfinished, just like every other game in 2022, 2023, 2024.
I'll tell you what broke me when you loaded up Ventress. Like one of my favorite dark side characters. Right?
Ventress had the lightsaber tucked underneath her arm. The second one underneath her arm.
Yeah, there was no animation. The lightsaber was literally in her armpit. Her other hand didn't have a lightsaber.
No, I'll show you.
The drawing looks so bad. It looks like it's Pinhead from Hellraiser. It doesn't even look like
I'll bring
her.
it up. I'll bring it up. Okay, here it is.
It doesn't even look like her.
Look. There it is. She's got the lightsaber tucked underneath her arm. Okay.
I mean,
it looks like it does. Sense. It looks like Hellraiser with lightsabers. It looks like Pinhead. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Pinhead. It doesn't. There's no tattoo markings. There's nothing. There's just an ugly head. That's all it is. Like that's your best attempt. Like I understand the graphics. I understand. Listen, I know it's 20 years old. All right, I got that. All right, but you did see the faces of the other people, right? Like, look at Princess Leia, right? Look at the rest of them.
Look, she's running with the lightsaber tucked underneath her arm. That's normal, right? It's like a slideshow, right? Let me show you when I pick a new character, right? Because it happens a lot. Right? She's running around. I get eaten. It's so disheartening that they don't care. Like they really don't care. It's a complete and total cash grab. It didn't matter to them that the game did this. Like it should be. We got paid. We did our job. Moving on. It's hard to see her, but look at her. Look at her face.
Hold it right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at it. That's Pinhead from Hellraiser. That's Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Like I still have those games on PC. So if I actually want to play them,
it's like she's using nunchucks. It's like she's using nunchucks. Look at the animation. I didn't even realize it last night when I was playing. Just looking at that's making me angry.
Zero penalties, man. It's zero penalties.
Looking at it is making me fucking angry. Okay, let me go off something here. Okay, let me read this article.
There's got to be some type of law that when you release stuff like that on purpose that it's like negligence, consumer negligence, something. Okay, something. Probably
one of the worst launches of all time. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection players tear into Aspire for bugs, crashes, and 3 64-player launch servers for nearly 10,000 users. Okay. Aspire sure is running hot and cold at the moment. Right after last month, well-regarded were remasters the first 3 Tomb Raider games, and the company has put, if they're touching the Tomb Raider games, I'm out. I don't give a shit. I'm out.
Don't care.
You broke me, Aspire. I aspire not to be anywhere near you. Okay? Okay, which over 1,000 Steam users reviews. Already, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has spiraled down to mostly negative overall rating, and fans complain that the bugs, the crashes, the server issues, and borderline unplayable multiplayer mode. Okay, probably one of the worst launches of all time. Think about that. Cyberpunk 2077 exists. Fallout 76 exists. Okay? Battlefield 2042 exists, and they're writing articles saying that this is one of the worst launches ever. Can you imagine? This is a 20-year-old game relaunched in 2024, and it's shittier than all those other games that came out broke, buggy, unfinished, unplayable.
I don't think so. I don't think so because at least the offline version does work.
Okay, it says probably one of the worst launches of all time. Right, Steam Dinkelberg. None of us can get into the game. There's only 3 servers. Similar complaints appear to endless up and down the game's Steam reviews page, which currently a sea of red that many users are imploring each other not to lose their 2-hour refund window. Don't waste your 2-hour refund window till confirmation fix. Write the users name Night. Currently, a game is totally unplayable. Even if you manage to get into the server, players cannot spawn. The state of the game's servers at launch are a frequent point of complaint. The original Battlefront games were adored for multiplayer. For numerous players around the internet, reports the Classic Collection launched with some total of 3 dedicated servers of 64 players each to servers for almost 10,000 concurrent players. Players can then host their own servers, which could help, but some of the users reported that the feature isn't even working properly for them to either. Okay? Having checked out the games myself, the situation appears to have been rectified to some extent. But Battlefront 2 has significantly more than 3 dedicated servers, while the first game was a total of 5. Not many, but adequate server numbers of players, and found Battlefront 1 when I jumped in earlier today. Okay? So there you go. There's all of the servers. But what it wasn't the servers that enraged the players. Multiple game subreddits are currently awash in complaints about the collection, particularly for Battlefront subreddit itself. Complaints ranged from floating controls to crashes to stuttering to incredibly bare-bone options for playing with friends. My own experience echoes many of these complaints. Attempting to get into the game of Battlefront 2 left me hanging at a character select for almost a full minute before I gave up and rejoined the server. But what baffles players most of all, and myself included, the guy writes, and also myself, okay, are the space requirements. On Steam, the Classic Collection, which hasn't really been marked as a full-blown remaster, wants an incredible 62.87 gigabytes of storage space, where the original game was only 12.
What?
The original game was only 12 gigs.
That's the graphic enhancement?
Players have left wondering why they need so much space just for these 2 old-ass games with barely anything done to them. In the words of Reddit user, it says, who adds that they did needs tons more space to take in if they don't want to mod them. All right, I'm left just wondering what I bought these. Okay, like what is happening, right? What is happening to this game? 12 gigs, 2 games, 24, but yet it's 62 gigs. 62 gigs.
Something's fishy there for sure. I don't know if the graphic enhancement takes up that much more space, but it does look cleaner. It's not as fuzzy, right?
Yes, you could pre-order. Yes, you could pre-order.
It's more sharper. But the fact remains, though, is that you're a company that was paid to do a job, and you took money, and you think that product is your best job. That's your best work. Like, that's your job. Like, I got paid to do the job. That's what I think my job is. I've completed my job. Like, that's what you believe, right? I can't even look at you as a professional. If you took a job to transpose a game over to present day, cleaning up, like you don't belong in the industry.
I just
like it's time to thin the herd. It's time to go back to a meritocracy. Your skills matter. If you do the good job, you get the next job. If you do great work with a good team, we put the team on with a better team. Like, that's how it has to be. This nonsense that's happening, and you think that this is a product, and like, it's no bit, and everyone says the same thing. It's no fucking big deal. It's always constantly this.
Get over it, gamer. You're just entitled.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. Like, this wouldn't fly, and I say it all the time, in any other industry at all. You'd be out of business.
It boggles my mind that, and here's the thing, right? This is a 20-year-old game, and the games that came out this year before it, every single one that I named before had server issues. Pal World, Suicide Squad, Helldivers, Last Epoch. I'm sure there's other ones in there. Okay, they all had server issues. If you're in a company right now and you're launching an online game, you better make sure you have fucking enough servers. And as Krebsy brings up in chat, okay, there's pre-orders. You know how many people bought your game ahead of time going, hey, we have 20,000 people that bought this game pre-ordered. Maybe we should have enough server space for those people when they get online, just in case. It's not like they don't know people want to play the game when it launches at midnight. It's not like they don't know that people actually change the region they're in so they can play a game early, right? It's mind-boggling to me that they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. It's insane. It's insanity. It's insanity.
There's no punishment. You don't seem to understand, right? If there's no punishment for your stupidity, then you just keep repeating, right? There's no punishment. This is not a hard discussion to have, right? They're not going to stop. They just do what they do, right? They do what they do, and there's so many people that use video games as a disposable income. You just throw money at something for some fun that they don't care anymore.
Can you imagine?
It shows. It shows in what they do that they don't care.
Imagine this, Sarge. I'm going to do something in the chat real fast, right? Imagine that our stream just kept doing this back and forth the entire time, right? Just kept flickering back and forth like this the entire time, right? And everyone's like, what's happening with the stream, 30? Oh, don't worry about it. You didn't pay for it, so suck it up, you entitled streamers, right? Like that is the exact thing, right? Just because something's broke, I shouldn't be like, well, you just have to deal with it. You just got to deal with it. No. In any fucking other industry, if something's broke, you're like, I'm going to return that. I'm going to return it. Okay? It's broke. Okay? It's not working correctly. Right? Nope. Not gaming. Not gaming. Gaming, it could be broke. It could barely fucking and everyone just keeps hitting X. Just keep hitting X. I'm going to get in. And once I get in, it doesn't work, but I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to play it because
you pass that 2-hour window and there's no refund.
It's fucking insanity.
Anyway, right? And you pass that 2-hour window and there's no refund policy anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's just sad. It's sad that this is where we are, right? It all adds up. When a game when it was a hard copy of a game and it had to be released, it was manufactured, printed, put in a box, and mailed out to stores, and you bought it. When that game was in that box, it had to work. That's your right? When it was in that box,
the dude just said the new game is trying to get the game to work. That's the game. It's a game in itself. It's like the meta,
right? And that's the issue. It's like, because of the fact that it's all digital, it's like this big. Don't worry about. We'll fix it later.
It's only 30. It's only $30.
It's a constant fix it later thing. It's kick the can down the road. It's no big deal. They have 10,000 other choices. If they don't want to give us the $35 that we're trying to steal from them in 2 hours, then they'll go out and buy another game that we made for another 2 hours.
Here's the problem, right? Even if it's $10, $20, $30, whatever it is, $60, right? Okay, great. I buy one game for $30, it doesn't work. I buy the next game that comes out at $60, it doesn't work. I buy the next game that's $35, it doesn't work. I buy the next. It's not just $30. It's not just $40. It's every freaking game that comes out. At this point, and I might just be venting here, okay? But if it just says online, fuck it. I'm not getting your game anymore. I'm not getting your game unless I get a code for free, like I did last night. I'm not purchasing the game. So if anyone goes, hey, are you playing this game? Are you playing that game? If it says requirement online, no, I'm not playing that game until they prove to me, right, that the game actually fucking works at launch. I can't do it anymore.
The industry has turned. I really do believe that the AAA companies are bloated and they're overrated at this point. I think they spend too much money on what they believe is what they need, but I don't know how many proof of purchases we need here. Proof is in the pudding here. Like, look at Blizzard, look at EA, look at these gaming companies, and look at the games that they release, and it's a constant battle with the same issues over and over again. It's like the indie guys, smaller teams, they know what the game's supposed to do. The options for the game, the perks inside the game are there. It's meant to be played by gamers to have fun, and they know what they're doing. And the big guys just don't have it anymore. I think they've been rotted from the inside. They're missing so many key people over the years that have been let go or started to make their own studios, that the remaining people inside the AAA industry are not qualified to make games on AAA level. They're just not.
Look,
they're just not.
And this is me not complaining. Like, oh, look, the trees are coming in the background, and it's popping in. I'm not worried about that shit. I'm worried about a game fucking working, like actually playing, right? At this point, Fallout 76 looks amazing when it came out, because even though you're falling through the map and the light's shining through and you can't get out of your suit of armor, you can still play the game. Okay? Still play the game. Think about that for a second, right? Even though Battlefront 2042, okay, was doing this the entire time, and the screen's flashing, and you're having seizures trying to play the game, and when you shoot somebody, it's hitting everything but the person you're shooting at, right? That's okay. That's okay. People are fine with that, right? Like, it's insane. It's insane. I gotta move on, because I'm starting to go down. I'm having a relapse here, and I'm gonna start yelling. Okay, so let me yell at something else. Okay, we're gonna yell at something else. Okay, we're gonna watch this clip from the quartering. Okay, yeah, he had a guest on, Grums. Okay, who worked for Blizzard. He's a consultant. He's a developer.
This ought to be amazing.
And he talks about where the industry is. This is going to take us down a little bit of a rabbit hole here of the Sweet Baby Inc. topic, right? So let's bring this up.
It's not that gamers are, upset about, oh, hey, we have some.
I'm going to make it a little
diversity.
louder. It's on the same channel as you, Sarge. So
actually, the way that they go about it, with pure tokenism, with phoning in weak characters instead of creating strong new characters. And more importantly, it's about a vindictiveness to destroy the past, to destroy the IP, to ignore the source material, and to tear apart these beloved characters in some sort of fitful rage that we don't understand and is very disingenuous. And I think that is the tremendous reaction to Suicide Squad. And this is going to have an immense financial impact. The way games are funded, you don't use your own money. Even EA, okay? Games are hugely expensive to make. They're upwards of 250, sometimes $600 million.
he says $600 million for certain games. You can talk about that in a second.
For certain live games, it's incredibly how expensive they are. And to do that, your CFO is your best friend. You're counting on your CFO to get you tax breaks, to get you in, to put studios in regions which are financially favorable, and you will borrow the cheap money. You will get a cheap money to do it. Even EA does this. I worked with EA. We were putting together a deal where they were taking bailout money from the banks in the last financial crisis that we had, and they were applying that cheap money towards games. Same thing with COVID money. They're applying that cheap money towards games. And what has been the cheapest money while interest rates were still low, a couple of years ago? It was ESG financing. And so they're going to take this money and they're going to put it into games. But now that they don't have that money anymore, because ESG is either being diminished or rebranded because the returns on investment have been so poor on Wall Street for ESG funds, that source of revenue is drying it up. This woke machine cannot continue in the way that it is now for AAA gaming. And I think, unfortunately, it's so entrenched that you're not going to see much of an ability to course correct, because the studios are
they're just going to shut down, right?
They're going to shut down.
Yeah.
And this is truly the rise of AA gaming, or what some of my fans call S tier gaming. This is,
like Helldivers.
Like Helldivers, Pal
Yeah.
World, the Diablo West
Pal
game
World,
that came out. I forget the name of that. Really incredible success stories in a period where game companies are experiencing significant losses. The bleeding will continue until, and no one's going to wake up from it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a total nosedive.
Okay, so he talks about how they obviously they don't spend their own money, right? And again, this is a thing in the entertainment industry as well. Like the movie industry does the exact same thing. Okay, the movie industry does the exact same thing where tax incentives are happening. So like you want to go film in Atlanta, Georgia, because they're giving you a tax incentive, and they also get tax breaks if they have certain characters or certain things, and they do the exact same thing in Hollywood. Okay, now it's in video games as well. Okay, so they're putting it. When he said $600 million, everyone's losing their mind over Spider-Man at $310 million, right? They're like, $310 million. That's just it's insanity, right? He says upwards of $600 million. I'm trying to think. Like he said, of live service is what he said. Service games.
That's an MMO. That's an MMO,
right? That's crazy. So I'm just thinking what GTA 6 is going to cost down the road, right?
I'll be very honest with you. With the amount of shenanigans going on right now with DEI and the whole sweet baby thing and all this cultural BS that's going on right now. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be negative about it. I don't know if Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto is going to be the same type of game. Right now, on one hand, I think they have made plenty of money on their own that they didn't need to accept any money from anybody else. But we don't know how deep the roots go for who affects what you can put inside your game. Right now, if Rockstar has funded it all themselves, and they could have, right, because they've made a shit ton of money over the years, they could have funded it all themselves. But because of that, I won't be getting it day one until I see what's going on with the game. Because I keep hearing all the rumors that they changed a bunch of things. It's not as crass anymore. It's not as dirty anymore.
Well, that's what they said,
it's not like
right?
the same. It's not the same type of GTA. It's GTA.
Until
but
we
it's GTA
see a review, we don't know.
Right. We don't know. So because of that, right? I'm not like trust me. I want to play Grand Theft Auto day one, but because of all the nonsense that's happening right now, I'll wait to see. I'll wait to see what happens.
So one of the other guys that's on the panel, he's in the center. This is Brutus. Okay, he's the guy that basically he didn't start this whole thing, but he's the guy who posted the curated site on Steam. Okay, he's the Brazilian that came out and said, I just making a curated site on Steam about what
all he said.
All he did was take the public information that was off Sweet Baby Inc. and put it over on Steam where people look up games, right? Because no one's going to their site going, oh, what games do they work on? All he did was take the public stuff, move it over to Steam, and then they started to attack him. They started to try to take him down, ban his account, take his stuff away from him. And this is where everything... Now, this is not where it started. This is what broke... Like Star Wars just broke my back. This is what broke what's going on right now, where everyone knows what's going on now. Okay? It was happening years ago. And then just 6 months ago, when Heel versus Babyface was talking about Starfield and said pronouns and boring, and it went super viral, right? That was what he was talking about. He was talking about stuff like this. Now, Sweet Baby, we don't know if they had anything to do with Starfield, but that's not what his point was. He wasn't talking about Sweet Baby Inc. He's talking about the DEI and how the ESG scores and everything gets into all of these games and starts to mess with what the actual thing is, right? So now he came out and made this curated site just off of this one website that was public information off of their own website. Then just a couple days after that, they did the Barbara Streisand effect, where they would try to get him canceled and then brought more light to what he was doing. And then he went from 9,000 followers, and he's close to 300,000 followers now over on that curated, on that site for Steam. Okay. Now the problem is, the thing is, they were trying to cancel him, and then all these articles started coming out. Kotaku came out, PC Gamer came out, Eurogamer came out, and all of them didn't say what was happening. They were reporting on it as, well, this guy did something wrong, okay? They never ever, not one fucking article reported how Sweet Baby Inc. attacked this guy to try to cancel him. Okay, they only brought up the stuff that he did something wrong. How? All he did was take the stuff that was already public acknowledged off of their own website and moved it over to Steam. Okay? Then they started coming out attacking him. Then they started saying racist things. Then other people started coming out. Then people started doing their research. Then they went down the rabbit hole. Then they found the GDC 2019 interview where the owner of Sweet Baby Inc. was talking about how if they don't work with you, scare them into submission, basically, and tell them what's going to happen if they don't work with you, right? Yep. Then we have other not content creators. We have other people in the industry that used to work for Sweet Baby Inc. now working on other games in the industry, coming out saying, well, we don't hire white people. We only hire black people. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, but that's what she did, right? All black people, because white people have microaggressions, is what she said, okay? And
but if that sentence was reversed,
oh, absolutely. Me saying what I just said could be taken out of context, right?
It would be immediately racism,
right?
The hypocrisy of what's happening right now, and it's about language change. You're trying to change definitions of words You're trying to say that your side is the only side that's right. You're not listening to the other side anymore. Like, this is the issue that we're having, right? They know the amount of pull and the amount of eyeballs that are on gaming, right? It's been talked about multiple times. We've said it in the past. Now they're finally saying it out loud to the public, where they're saying that video games does more money than like 4 or 5 other industries put together, right? They know the kind of pull. So when you're an ideologue and you're trying to push a narrative and you're trying to reach the young people, what better way to do that than to do it inside gaming? We have the largest demographic there is. That's why they're doing it.
Right. Real quick, Jason, no one ignored you when you did that, right? And I'll talk it straight up to you. I didn't ignore you. I literally read your stuff when you said it, right? You came in and said Sweet Baby Inc. I said, I don't know what Sweet Baby Inc. is, right? You said what it is. I knew the DEI stuff, right? I've known about that for years. But a sign on the door with a pride flag is not breaking the game. I get what they're doing, okay? And the topic, when you come in, when we're talking about Suicide Squad and stuff, and you bring in all of a sudden Sweet Baby Inc., is not pertinent to the actual topic that we're talking about at that time. But I never ignored you. I read it directly on stream. If you want, I can go back and try to find it for you, because everything I always read everything in chat, and I acknowledge everyone that says certain things in chat. Okay, I don't hide anything. I don't try to sway anything. I speak of everything. I talk to chat just like I'm doing right now. Okay, so I knew about the stuff, but now it's at a different level, right? Because now it's not just about them putting pride flags in and doing different stuff. It's about the industry and the journalists not reporting on stuff, and that you see the line is drawn in the sand. You know what side they're on. You know what they're doing now, because it's plain as day, plain as sight. A person that didn't do anything wrong is being projected as he's the bad guy, and that we're now all istophobes and sexist, racist people, okay? Where all he did was take public information off one person's site and put it on this other curated site. That's how all of this, okay? That's how all of this happened, okay?
Well, you knew, but if they had stayed quiet, it would have been fine. But because somebody shined a light into the dark room and they put their name on something, they said, "Hey, these are the guys that are doing the games that are." All it was public knowledge. But the public knowledge was in a spot where not a lot of people would have seen it.
Right.
So he took the public knowledge and put it into a more visible area of public knowledge, and then that was a problem. Like, the red flags go up all the time. I don't know how many you need before you start heeding the warnings, but we're gonna see.
Right. So now it's so big now, okay? Now we have the right-wingers coming in, right? And I don't want to make this political, but now it's getting to a point where now the right-wingers are getting involved, and now you have the Daily Wire pumping in with Matt Walsh coming in, right? And I thought it was pretty cool that he's acknowledged it, but as he was speaking, I went, you literally hate gamers, right? He's said this in the past. He hates people that read comic books. He hates gamers. It's a waste of time and stuff, and cool. Right? I'm not judging him for what he does or whatnot. But if you're a news outlet and you're a person that's speaking on certain things, when he was speaking, it doesn't sound like he's coming because he was interested in this. It sounded like it came from somebody, one of his producers, and said, this is happening in the industry right now. We should talk about it. It's a hot topic. This will get us a lot of clicks. Okay? So I'm going to play you the 51-second clip of what he says. Okay?
A tool is that the video game industry, without a lot of fanfare, has transformed into a tool of both propaganda and surveillance.
He's not wrong there. Obviously, all media is propaganda. Okay, it was back in the past. If you go watch old cartoons and stuff like that, it's always been in television and films, and now it's showing itself inside the video games prominently now.
It's an effective way to indoctrinate children, precisely because it hasn't received much attention, and also because children spend, many of them, hundreds of hours a year.
He says children spend hundreds of hours a year in video games. That statement alone says he knows nothing about video games, okay? And before he even says that, in the beginning, he says video games is the most money combined between movies and music and entertainment combined, right? Go ahead, Sarge, what are you saying?
And that might be an undercount.
Yeah, undercount, just a little bit.
with this kind of content. So it should get a lot of our attention.
That must eat him up inside when he said it, right? Right? Must be hundreds of hours, or maybe more. I don't know, right? Like,
And now finally that attention is here. And it's yet another reason to keep these games as far away from your children as possible. And if you do that, games journalists, literally the lowest form of journalists on the planet,
he ain't wrong there either. There's a couple of them that are okay, and everyone else is garbage.
will accuse you of harassment. And that's exactly how you'll know that you're doing the right thing.
All right, so he comes out and says this stuff, and I'm like, all right, cool. Now the rest of the people that didn't give a shit about video games now knows about what's going on in video games, right? They don't bat an eye. It doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form, right? So the problem with this is it's not genuine. It's literally, he's a content creator. He's just trying to grief off of what the stuff is, but he doesn't actually know what the true problem is that's happening, right?
If he mentions anything at all, I'm pretty sure his producers wanted him to mention it, but I don't think they have their ear to the ground about the video game industry like some of us. We just been around. I've been around for too long to not recognize some of the bullshit that's happening.
Right.
It's always been about the games. Always. It's about competitiveness between the development companies to see who can come out with a more interesting and fun game. That was the actual reason for it.
Right.
And we lost it. They've lost that somewhere. And it's became this other thing, and it's not about games anymore. It's about this other thing. It's not about the game. And we saw that based on award shows. We saw that based on the decline of AAA gaming. We've seen it based on the number of firings within companies. Like it's just shows. It's you could say it was just about the money. So yeah, it's always about the money, but it was originally about gaming, and now it's just not at all. And everyone's trying to jockey for position.
Yeah,
trying to put together the next game that can be the next Candy Crush, because you're trying to absorb as much money as you possibly can in the shortest amount of time, as opposed to making a fun game for people to play.
Well, in that article here, it says everything Matt Walsh said in the video is correct. And while it's mostly stuff that everyone here knows about in some time, it adds a new wrinkle about the government involvement in the politicians of the video games. Okay? Everything that's happening now has been brought down. If you watched Demion's video,
Yeah.
if you watched Upper Echelon's video, we know the department, our government is part, okay, of what's going on here with grants and different things. There's professors that are doing studies that are taking money from the government to try to figure out what type of games mess with people's minds and stuff like that. We know this straight up from Bungie telling us that they brought in analysts and stuff, right? Psychologists to figure out what makes a game addictive and what makes people keep playing, right? Obviously, it's working, because 10 years later, people will literally fight you if you say Destiny's 2 or Destiny sucks. They'll be like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. It's the greatest game ever created, right?
Don't you talk about my crack.
That's right. Right, so, like, these are things that are happening in the industry, okay? And this is what's pissed me off the most, right? I'm a huge moviegoer, TV, movie, and Hollywood ruined those. Right? The last 5-6 years, they really ruined my entertainment. So I stopped watching shows. I went over to movies. I stopped watching movies, right? They ruined comic books. And now, the last fronted line, right, is the house is burning, or the houses are burning down the block with the fire. Didn't affect me, right? I was just like, sorry, I'll just move farther away from the fire. I'll just move farther away from the fire. I'll just keep moving farther away from the fire. Well, now the fire's outside my door. Okay, there is no other piece of entertainment after this, right? I don't watch sports anymore. I don't watch movies anymore. I don't watch TV shows anymore. I don't read comic books anymore. Okay, I play video games, and now video games are being condemned and rotten from the core. Okay, I don't know what to do at this point. Do I just stop? Good night, everyone. See you later. I'm done. Or do I start using my voice and saying something and acknowledging it? You know what I mean?
Well, but it's already been stated. If you turn away the people that followed the old IPs and nurtured them to where they are today. If you get rid of those people, then all you're left with is people that have no IPs. They're just waiting for the next game to come out. And so they want to make these other narratives and games and the histories off of our old IP in their own image, right? If you piss off the original people long enough, like you said, you'll walk away. But that's what they want. They want you to walk away because they want to start fresh with a fresh group of eyes and young kids who are growing up with a little mini screen that they can put things on it all day long with them, right? That's the difference. I just want to play. I just want my entertainment.
Yeah,
I don't want to be preached to. I don't want to be narrated to. I don't want to be trying to be influenced of how many things I need to buy because the next little costume looks better than the last costume, and I'm playing a first-person game. The stupidity is exponential for me. Like I can't listen to this stuff anymore. Like you're buying skins that you don't see, but you buy skins because you saw the skin on somebody else. Like the premise is behind all this, and the long list of propping up the reasons why they do MTX or the reasons why they do battle passes or the reasons why they do all these added features, quote unquote features that's in a game. Whereas before you paid money for a product and that was the end of the story, right? You bought the game, and what we now call live service was originally called DLC.
It was just DLC, yeah.
Right? You would just buy the next installment or you'd buy the expansion pack for whatever game you actually enjoyed to play. But you notice the verbiage keeps changing. And so we're arguing in chat or we're arguing on podcasts about the verbiage being used to try to manipulate you. Like it's getting to the point now where you just have to call a spade a spade. Right? You can't kowtow and pretend like the words aren't being said or what's being said to you isn't directly affecting you. Like, you know it is.
Right.
You know it is. Right? Well, we're going to see.
Well,
we're going to find out.
Helldivers, right, is one company that's stopping because someone came out and said, hey, you should put a pride flag or you should put this in. And they came out and said, we don't want anything in our game that takes you out of the immersion of what Helldivers is, right? Meaning if you put a pride flag, an American flag, or whatever kind of flag in that game, okay, then you're grounding that game in reality. And that game is not reality. That game is you're in Super Earth, you're fighting for democracy, you're shooting aliens in the face, you're shooting robots, okay? It's supposed to be that and that only, where you just have fun, okay? And I like where they make the stand, where they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not putting anything in, okay? We're going to make the game that we want to make, and we're not going to put any kind of, microtransactions in there, which you put any kind of flag, okay? Helldivers 2, new premium war bond is also live, and players are explaining why it's not pay to win yet again, okay? So apparently, Helldivers 2's new premium war bond, dubbed Cutting Edge, is now out, and now it has added new weapons, gear, and armor to the game, as well as cosmetic items such as emotes. But while many players of Arrowhead's co-op shooter are getting stuck in some of the debating whether its premium war bond strays into pay-to-win territory. Now, the premium war bond essentially is a battle pass, is bought with 1,000 super credits. However, Helldivers 2's virtual currency, and like most battle passes, Helldivers 2's premium war bond contains items that must be unlocked with separate virtual currency called medals. Now, in this way, players can't simply buy premium war bonds and unlock everything. It has to offer immediately. Although you can get pretty far within the day one if you save up lots of medals. Super credits are obtained through the gameplay, war bonds themselves, but obviously at much slower rate than they were to buy with the real money. 1,000 super credits cost $9.99. Now, it's possible to buy premium war bonds with real money, but what does it include that makes it potentially pay to win? A number of weapons and gear and armor items are exclusive to the premium war bond, and its inclusion of these items has sparked a renewed debate just a month later about whether Helldivers 2 is pay to win. In the early days, of course, but already players are saying that some of the new gear is particularly powerful, but the body armor, for example, provides a whopping 95% resistance for arc damage, which is useful for the context of friendly fire, but very much being a part of Helldivers 2. Now, some of the new weapons appear to be potent, and there's even an exclusive booster that increases the time between enemy encounters. The last item sounds really helpful in the game and sends waves of enemies at players, but also can purely player virus environment. Video games are pay to win with no player versus player. All right, so that's my argument, right? If it's not player versus player, it's not really pay to win. But Helldivers 2 simply revolves killing alien bugs and robots, and then one teammate has cool new gears after splashing out of the premium war bond. Is that bad thing? Question mark. Question. That's one of the main questions currently being debated across social media, in forums, in particular within the Helldivers Discord, where most players are pushing back on the pay-to-win accusations. The Helldivers community and every weapon is both shit and overpowered, and the game is both pay-to-win and not worth the money, said one user, summing things up. So where do you stand, Sarge? Do you think this is pay-to-win? Because, again, to unlock certain things in the regular free battle pass, you need the medals that you earned in the game to spend it on that stuff. And then if you buy the premium battle pass, which you still need the medals, you're paying $10 to unlock that premium section, but then you're getting the medals when you're just playing the game like you normally would to unlock those things. So they're saying that's pay to win because there's armor in that section that's also in the normal section. It's just different looking colored, like throw a grenade 30% farther, or more accuracy, or hold two things. It's the same gear that you can get stat-wise in the premium one is ones that you can get in the free one as well.
There's too much verbiage in the conversation with this game, because first let's define pay to win. Right? The original definition of pay to win was that we were playing a PvP game in which one guy's versus another guy. And if I have a way of being able to use real world currency to buy a piece of gear that makes me better inside the game, then that's the definition of pay to win. But this game there's friendly fire, but we're all on the same team.
Right.
So if you want to change the verbiage and say, well, I become the better griefer if I get the better armor and I can call down stuff and kill other people around me and I won't die from it because I've got the better armor on, then I guess you could call that pay to win if we're gonna be semantic about this. But all it really means is that you're looking for a way for people to say, I'm going to either play this game for 4 hours and then have to play an additional 5 hours to get what I need, or I just play the 4 hours because I paid the extra money, so I'm saving time. So that's the old school of the microtransaction, which is you're paying money to save time.
Well, in this one, right, you're not saving time.
That's what it is. But buying it gives you the options immediately as opposed to you having to look for it.
Well, no,
right?
buying the super credits only gets you to get the premium pass, but you still have to get the medals to unlock the stuff in the pass.
Right. Still time. Right.
Yeah, you still have to put your time in. The only thing you're doing is if I don't have the premium pass, I have to do the missions and find the super credits to get 1,000 to then spend it on the premium. Where you're spending $10, you open up the premium right away. So we both start on the same mission day one. You paid $10. I didn't pay $10. We pay 4 hours each. You're working on the paid track. I'm working on the non-paid track. Right? To me, you still have to get the medals.
Still time saver. It's still a time saver.
Sure. Yeah.
But
you're not wrong.
I'm looking at this game two different ways. If I'm looking at it as the business point of view, then the game, and please chat, don't take this the wrong way, but this is how it works. They found a niche game to release at a proper time in the trough of video games, where this type of game would be found to be fun and playable to a larger audience of people who like this type of shooter. So they are trying to milk it for as much as they can, for as long as they can, because as soon as there's another game that's in the upper echelons, AAA or AA or S tier game that will draw people's attention, you'll put down Helldivers and play something else, because Helldivers is not a long play game. Helldivers is a quick game that you get with your friends, play it maybe 20 minutes, an hour or so to level up some stuff, and then you just put the controller down and walk away. Right. You don't feel compelled to stay inside the game forever. But as soon as something else comes along that's going to draw your attention away, it will be Helldivers will just be the flash in the pan for February, March, April of 2024. Like, that's what it will be. Yes, will people keep playing the game? Yes, people will find it. Their friends will introduce it to them, and you'll play a few games. You'll play a few games a week because you find it fun. But as soon as another main title comes out, they'll stop talking about this game like they stop talking about every other game that comes out.
Yeah,
But I don't mind what they did, right? This is as far as I can tell, it's a AA game. It's done very well. Yep. It's a third-person shooter. It's co-op. It's got all the bells and whistles that type of game should have, right? Playability, fun factor, like hilarity. Like look at all the videos you watch about the game, right? It's always some guys hanging out, laughing with each other, having a good time, trying to figure out how the weapons work, trying to figure out how to team up with proper weapons to cover each other without killing each other, because they put that game in on purpose, because it gives a little something to it. Because if you were inside that kind of game and there was no friendly fire, then no one would care.
Yeah.
There'd be no sense of strategy. You would just shoot into each other and make a big wall of bullets and just keep firing at the guys. But instead, you have to be a little bit more tactful.
I think, speaking of, Cybersword in chat says this time saving is not pay to win, and I agree with 100%.
I agree.
That, right? I stand where I don't believe it's pay to win, right? Because the medals stop that from being pay to win, because you and me both have to get medals. Now, obviously, if you want to look at the time, right? If Sarge has 10 hours a day to play a game and I only have 2, okay, is I'm saving time, right? Because I paid $10 to catch up to him, right? Because in 10 hours he could get enough of money to get the premium currency, or get the medals to unlock the premium currency to then buy the premium pass, where I would have to play 5 days worth of 2 hours each. So I don't think time saving is pay to win, right? I mean, everything's unfair. Someone might have 16 hours a day to play a game. Someone might have 1 hour a day to play a game. They have to play 16 days to get 1 time of him, right? So I see what it is. This is where I draw the line of, if it's a competitive game, even if this is competitive, like there's leaderboards and who's doing the most damage or who's doing that, then that would be pay to win to me, right? But because there's none of that, and it's just straight up PvE community, I don't believe any of it is pay to win, right? Because you can earn everything in the game. You can unlock it with medals. You can unlock the premium currency with medals. You can unlock the premium war bonds with getting super credits in the actual game as well. So to me, I don't think it's pay to win. As far as the game itself, I think it's going to last a lot longer than most people think, only because of the way they're doing the season pass. Okay. Now, 3 weeks ago on Lono's podcast, I said that I think they don't need a roadmap, and I think the roadmap is them just coming out on Twitter saying, "Hey, a factory on this planet. If we get this, we get the mechs," and that's exactly what happened. Right, 2 weeks after I said what they should do. Okay, well, they've done that. And the difference between a game like what Skull and Bones, Suicide Squad, Battlefield, any game that has, here's our roadmap, this is what we're bringing out in the next 6 months, 8 months. Helldivers is like, yeah, this stuff's in here, but there's no roadmap. The roadmap is you play the game, you're having fun, right? And then all of a sudden they give you a major order, and they're like, new factory. On this planet, we got to push back the terminate, right? And they give you medals or whatever, and then maybe there's a new weapon, and they bring the new weapon in, right? Or they bring the mechs in, or they bring a whatever they're going to bring in, right? They've added like meteor showers and earthquakes and tornadoes inside their stuff. There wasn't a patch that came out and said, well, in 2 weeks, we're going to bring in the fire tornadoes, and we're going to bring in the earthquakes and stuff like that. They're just like, boom.
When it's ready, put it in the game and shut the fuck up.
They literally just real quick, even if they give you a patch note like Tuesday, Thursday, it's in the game. It's not like 6 months down the line. Like right now, everyone's in a holding pattern going, it's like a Caddyshack. Well, we're waiting, right? Like waiting for Suicide Squad to see what their season 1 pass is. We're waiting for Diablo season 3 or season 4. We're waiting for season 7 and season 10. Helldivers is like, just playing the game. You're giving democracy. You're just blowing shit up. And hey, while you're blowing shit up, by the way, here's a new toy. Here's a new weapon. Here's a new thing, right? They're constantly giving that carrot in front of you, and you're not expecting it. You're not expecting it. With those other games, you're expecting, all right, they told me March 6th, that's when it's coming out, where these guys are saying absolutely nothing, and they're like, hey, dude, new major order. We can get a mech if we liberate this planet. Everyone's like, I'm in, dude. Let's do it. Right? And I think that's the reason Helldivers will not be a one and done type of burnout real fast, because even if you leave the game, okay, your friend's going to be playing it, or you're going to see it on social media or whatever you're playing, and they're going to be like, Helldivers 6 months from now, they added a big giant mech or base or new enemy, new faction, and you're going to be like, I want to get in there and I want to do that.
But that's fine. It's still a factor of time.
Sure,
it's still a factor of time.
But that's not what I'm saying. Why?
Just because just because your game in the carousel rotation of games you'll go back to, a lot of other people find other games, and then that one doesn't go on to the carousel. Everyone's not going to have Helldivers 2 on their carousel of games they're waiting for the next season to come out, right? You get enough games down the pipe, and Helldivers just falls off. Yes, will people keep playing it? But in the numbers that everyone thinks they're going to keep playing the numbers game? No.
No, but I that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is right now, no one's playing Suicide Squad because they're like, I'll just wait for the season 1 to come out, right? I'll just wait till March 28th, and then I'll go back that day.
That's the answer to all of it. I'll just wait for the next season.
Helldiver's not like that because you don't know what's coming out. You don't know what's coming out. So you're like, I'm going to go play Stellar Blade. But the day Stellar Blade comes out, all of a sudden Helldivers goes, dude, new factions in the game. You're like, do I play Stellar Blade or do I go fight the new faction? Come on, bro. We're giving democracy. All right, I'm coming. Right? Stellar Blade will be there tomorrow. Right? That's the difference. What they're doing is completely different than anybody else. Okay? Now, it's cool because they're doing it and they're solo doing it. Now think about if the industry all does this, right? If the industry does this and now Division doesn't tell you when the next thing's coming out. Helldivers doesn't tell you when the next thing's coming out. Battlefront doesn't tell you. Battlefield doesn't tell you. Apex doesn't tell you. Nobody tells you when these roadmaps are happening. They just happen sporadically throughout the year. That is more interesting to me than, well, in March we have this, and this. See, the developers think because they tell you ahead of time, you're going to stay in that game the entire time waiting for that to happen, where it's the opposite. They're like, oh, you're not doing that till July? All right, I'll see you later. And they walk away. But Helldivers doesn't do that. They're just like, yeah, play the game. Oh, we see our number going down. Go ahead, Joel. Release the third faction, and we'll put a tweet out about it.
That's fine.
And that's how it works.
But that's fine. And I'm saying this is still early in the year. Wait until other things come back out again. What I'm telling you is that this game is not going to be a majority of game that's on people's carousel of games to go back to because everything has to be a live service now. Everything. There's a reason to go back to
but this game is
every
fun.
game that we play.
This game's fun.
I get it, but there's only so much time. You only have so much time to play a game. And if enough games come out, I guarantee you this game is not on a lot of people's rotation. That's all I'm saying. Will you go back and play it when you're bored or something comes up in your head? Your friends are sitting around one night and like, hey, let's go check out, see if anything's new on Helldivers? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Dave says every time No Man's Skies does this, all the players come back to the game. Yeah, but No Man's Sky does it almost as fast. Like what I mean by that is he'll put a tweet out on Tuesday and then everyone's like, what does that mean? And then like 2 days later, it's in the game, right? Helldivers is literally like, boom, it's in the game. Flying bugs. In the game. What? There's flying bugs in the game? Mechs are in the game. Are they? Where are they? Right? People don't know, and it's not everywhere. It's not on all planets. It's not in everyone's game. So everyone's like, I want to see this. It gets people to play the game. What Helldivers is doing, what Arrowhead's doing with Helldivers, I love because it's so different. It's everything that we asked for other games that have wanted to do this, right? And yet this game comes out of nowhere that's not a giant IP, right? It's just It's a generic, let's be honest. It's a generic brand, but now it's becoming this next bigger brand, right? Everyone's like, well, no, I knew about Helldivers. Helldivers sold 1 million units, maybe 2 million units total in the entire life of its existence when it came out 10 years ago, right? They sold 2 million units in a blink of an eye for this one, right? They've doubled, tripled, quadrupled, maybe even 5 times what they had for the very first thing. So I don't want to hear people like, well, I always knew about Helldivers. Bravo. Let me give you a round of applause for those people that thought they were like prophets. Oh, well, I was a big fan of Helldivers. Helldivers 1 top down was like Grand Theft Auto top down, okay? Nobody fucking played it, but there was a small little community that was there. And then when it went 3D, three-dimensional, it went off the fucking charts. That's exactly the same type of thing that's happening with Helldivers right now, right? Same exact thing. So, going from that to another game that's now putting battle passes inside the game. It's been out for 5-6 years. Fallout 76, okay? This game's actually done live service really well after all the trouble it had at launch with 16 times the detail and the game and with the canvas bag and all the other shit that happened with this, okay? 5 years later, 6 years later, right? It's coming out with its first season pass. And it's kind of weird because they had this like board game thing like the last 2-3 years where it's free to everybody. You just play the game. and then you unlock stuff. Okay, but now Fallout 76 has now been on the market for almost 6 years, and all the accounts, it has been a great success for Bethesda Game Studios, and it launched in terrible condition and quickly became known as one of the biggest failures in gaming history. Hold my beer, Star Wars Battlefront collection says. Okay, but thanks to years of dedicated support and constant expansions, the update by Bethesda Game Studios, Fallout 76 is now something well worth playing, especially in the fans' post-apocalyptic genre. Now, recently, Bethesda revealed that major changes coming to Fallout 76 since June of 2020. Bethesda has rolled out a series of seasons that have been accompanied by a scoreboard, free-to-access unlock path that rewards users for completing in-game challenges. Now, after a whopping 15 seasons, okay, Bethesda, remember that's a dead game, by the way. I just want to, this game's not going to last 1 year. Here we are almost 6 years in, 15 seasons later. Bethesda
it has its niche. It has its niche of people.
Of course. Bethesda is retiring the scoreboard mechanic and replacing it with a paid-for-season pass. Now, it's not going down well. People are starting to push back, right? So since the legendary run debut of June 30th of 2020, players have enjoyed each iteration of the season. There's also themed Fallout fans in the world over have soaked up the alien invasion, futuristic campaigns, Nuka-Cola brand content, patriotic pathways. Unlike the multiplayer games, Fallout 76 always boosted free content paths, and each new season allowed players to unlock boatloads of cosmetics, utilities, recipes, craft components without paying a penny. Now, it evolved somewhat several months ago, with Bethesda Game Studios making some content exclusively accessible for Fallout First members. The third paid, that's the paid premium subscription that offers bounties of benefits if you're willing to pay monthly. Now, Bethesda Game Studios will sunset the scoreboard system, introducing a season pass structure that will require players to purchase a new battle pass every season. It'll cost 1,500 atoms, which is $14.99 in real money. And the Fallout First members get every season pass included with their subscription, of course. Make a problem? Have a solution. Right? So each new season will be accompanied by a series of season pages, which is also bursting with rewards. Each reward has a ticket cost, and these tickets are unlocked by completing challenges. So it's basically the same thing. The difference is that they used to give you the stuff for free by just doing challenges, but now they want that $15 extra on top of that, right? Now, you're paying $10, 12 months, $15 for Game Pass. You're playing the game before you didn't buy the game. And now you're paying $15 a month or every 3 months for a new season for this type of stuff. But the ticket expires when the season is over. So it's not FOMO. I mean, it is FOMO, right? So if you don't complete this within the season, then it leaves. So it all begins with the next season called Duel with the Devil when it kicks off on March 26th on all platforms. So here's a big mistake I think they're making. I don't think a lot of people would have a problem if they got rid of the scoreboard that they had and brought in this season pass for $15 if it wasn't FOMO. But because it's FOMO, that's when people are like, this is pretty fucking scummy.
But they all have what they all have in their mind what they think will create the most revenue. They feel that FOMO is the better choice here.
Right.
Whereas Suicide Squad thinks that FOMO shouldn't be a thing. Right. You can see the development teams and how they break down what they believe. Look what Helldivers 2 is doing, right? They don't really care about that if you got it or not. They just put it in there as an option for you if you want to get the battle pass or not.
Right. They're all playing what works, right?
What works, what they believe works.
Here's the thing. I believe if you pay your money, okay, if I pay for this is why, and I stand tried and true to this. Ever since I started streaming, I never buy a season pass up front. Okay, if I play your game, the first season pass I ever bought was from Dauntless. Okay, Dauntless, when it came out, I played it and played it and played it and played it and played it. Got to the max level in the season, and I went, you know what? I had a good time playing the game. I'll give them $10 because I knew that I got to max level, so I was getting all the rewards. Where if I give you the $10 up front, and then life happens where maybe I could put 8 hours in one day, but then I don't play for 3 weeks, and then I come back and put 2 hours in, and then I come back, right? You have my money, and if it's FOMO, I don't get that money back. I don't get to unlock any of that stuff. I don't get any of this stuff. I just get the stuff that I got, which is not a full price, right? So I want to be able to pay my money and get all the stuff, get my money's worth, okay, for that $10. This is why I like what Halo's doing, even though I don't play Halo, but I respect that Halo doesn't have FOMO, where you could buy Season 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I decided to spend $40 on that. I have all the time in the world on my own time to complete those things. Same with Helldivers. Helldivers, the next War Bond's out. I can go back to the last war bond and decide what I want to spend my medals on. Season 1, Season 2. Season 1 free or premium, or Season 2 free or premium. I get to choose. Nothing expires. When they do this stuff like this where it expires, it's scummy, man. It's fucking scummy because you're getting the $10 from the person. What's the bad part about leaving that there for let them complete it, right? Are you going to tell me like Destiny, the game gets too big, we got to delete things? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's the funneling process of getting someone to have to come back, because you have to come back. Then I might be able to get you down another street or no alleyway where I can get some more microtransactions from you. Right, so they're guaranteeing the people that actually buy that season pass in the Fallout example, where they're going to have to come back for those months, so they can pretty much have inside their mind or on their spreadsheet how many people are going to be playing for these 3 months, and based on those numbers who are coming in for those 3 months, they can figure out how much more revenue they can make based on those numbers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they'll do like percentages, right? So if they get like, let's say they get 100,000 people to buy the season pass. And they know that because those
extra $15 a person,
their fall off, maybe their fall off's like 15%, right? So like 85,000 remain, and like out of those 85,000, they get maybe like a 25 or 35% retention in the fact that they might purchase something else. So then you know how much revenue they might make for that season, right? That's basically why the FOMO is there. It's not because they want you to miss out on it. It's because they know that to keep you in there. And they need the bodies in the game for the service model for that they're running to work. That's why it's there.
What I liked about Marvel's Avengers when they did their Hero Pass, right? First they gave you all the things for free, so the first 6 characters were there for free, right? Then if you completed their challenge thing, you got enough for one of them. You would have enough money to pay for the next free character to come out and pay for their thing. They gave you enough currency in the thing to do it, and it never expired. So as long as you purchased it, it was there. You could take your sweet-ass time to play it. I thought that was good. I think more companies should do that model. I think more companies should do what Halo and what Helldivers is doing. I just think Bethesda, again, Microsoft and Bethesda are being just a little too greedy here because, again, like you said, let's say there is 100,000 people playing Fallout 76 constantly every month, okay? And those people they like the game, they're supporting the game, so they buy that season pass, right? Well, that's another $15 a month on top of the $15 they're already paying for Game Pass, so now they're paying $30 a month if they're just playing Fallout 76. Think about that, right? They're paying for Game Pass, and they're paying $15 a month. So it's like paying for a subscription.
The season lasts 3 months. They aren't paying that every month. They're paying
sure.
$15.
You're absolutely correct. My bad.
Yeah.
Right, so it's $15 a month for Game Pass, okay? So that's $45 for the 3 months, plus the additional $15 for the season pass. Voila, that's a $60 game, right? So every 4 months, they get another $60 game purchased, right? Based off of the Game Pass plus the season pass. And they do this for Forza. They do this for Sea of Thieves. They do this for... I'm okay with them putting a season pass in there. I'm not okay with it being with FOMO, and that's why I think they should change. I think if they change it to a non-FOMO thing, okay, they do it with Halo. Why not do it with Bethesda's Fallout 76? I don't think anyone would have a problem with this if it never expired. That's just my thoughts. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you think it would be a problem if there was no FOMO? I think the season pass would be fine if they didn't have FOMO, but let me know, you guys in the live chat, or if you're in the comment section down below, let me know before. 76 says the rewards are going to have to be really, really good for me to buy it. How long, 76? I know you played a lot of 76. When you played the scoreboard, how long would it take you to complete a scoreboard for that? Right, like on average, what would it cost?
I'll tell you what. If you're able to find the code that's somewhere on my system, which I don't think is there anymore, I'll try it with you. But
I'm sorry,
I'm not making any promises.
I'm sorry.
I'm not making any promises.
Chat, did you just? I was just checking my phone for a second. Did Sarge just say?
Can
I get you to repeat that?
I'm not buying it.
Can I get you to repeat it?
I said if you can find the code, I'll try it. That's it.
Holy shit!
I'll try it.
The world is upside down, chat. Sweet Baby Inc. Everyone knows about, and Sarge just said he would play Fallout 76 with me.
I would rather wait for Fallout 5.
Well, you got to wait like 10 years for that.
Yeah, I know. I'll be retired.
Krebsy says, I want all the content to be available all the time.
It should. You paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay for it, I think it should be there.
Right. You paid for it.
Dupla says, speak into the microphone, Sarge.
Yeah, dude, I know.
Say it with pride. Duplis will play with you. Duplis and me will play with you if you want to play.
Like I said before, if you can find the code on my Xbox, you can be able because it's not there.
It's there.
Otherwise,
I'll find it for you.
Yep.
It'll be a while because you would either have to bring your Xbox up because
that's not
trying to walk you through it. It's gonna be.
That's not gonna happen.
Talking to a grandparent how to operate a mobile phone.
And that's why there's a jitterbug.
Fallout 76 is a fun with friends. It is. When I played it with Tweak. I played it with Duplis. I was having a blast. I thought it was great. Even with the small glitches and stuff that was happening, it was a fun time. And I've always said to Sarge, I said, you would really like Fallout 76 because every time we played Fallout 3, every time we played Fallout 4, we would play together, but we couldn't play together, right? Because it wasn't co-op. So he would play on his, I play on mine. We'd be on headsets and we'd be like, dude, did you find this over here? Did you find this? We're like, man, if this game was co-op, then Fallout 76 came out, shit the bed, and Sarge's like, I'm not playing it. And I went, oh my God, this is co-op. You would like this. But
yeah, the dude, like I actually found the new expansion for ESO that was on sale.
Sarge plays ESO. He plays it
for like $12, but I don't have the time to play it. Like and plus the fact they screwed up my character after some kind of patch. They changed the moveset for my
I hate when they do that.
What the hell's that? Oh God, I can't remember the class now. The healer class, the standard healer class, but you could do DPS with it. You could do anything with it really, but I can't remember the hell the name of the class is now. I'm flaking out. Anyway, they changed up the move set, and so I tried playing it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep playing it because of that. But I have the Necrom on there, but I haven't really loaded it up.
You know, Sarge, myself, and Brainchild, we played the crap out of ESO back in the day. Give me 1 second. I gotta text my talk a little bit, Sarge, for a second.
Talk a little bit. Like that's it. Thanks, Scrabbly. That's it. Templar. Yeah. Yeah, they changed the moveset, so it doesn't do this. I have to relearn the rhythm of the attacking, basically, now is what has to happen, but I haven't had the time.
All right, so going from Fallout 76 to this morning, I talked about Google AI. Google has this not a patent. Google's developing an AI that will actually play games with you, okay? Like
it's nonsense.
So I found... This is literally it playing. This is it playing No Man's Sky. Okay. It says, introducing SEMA. Okay. The first journalist AI agent to follow natural language instructions in a broad range of 3D virtual environments and video games. It can complete tasks similar to humans and outperforms an agent trained in just one setting. Sorry. Okay, so it's going around. It's only a 12-second or 20-second clip or whatever. This is AI. This is not a person playing the game. This is AI learning and running around. It was doing Goat Simulator. It was playing No Man's Sky. It was playing, I forget the other game it was playing, right? And it was literally going around playing the game like you and me would, right? It looks better than a game journalist, right? I bet you this AI could figure out Cuphead's tutorial for sure. Okay, unlike the journalists out there. But yeah. So let me read this a little bit to you, Sarge. Okay. It says Google's developing a DeepMind-based AI that could end up being your ultimate virtual co-op buddy. This is not some play-to-win opponent or loot superbot, but a general instructable game-playing AI agent. The Google presented a research article, what it calls a scalable, instructable, multi-world agent, which is SEMA. The general idea of this is learning AI that can follow verbal instructions and understand the virtual world it's in. Rather than functioning as a hardcore AI opponent or bot they grow accustomed to over decades, Google SEMA promises to more natural, human-like gaming companion. So basically, I brought this up earlier today, right? When you play Pal World, you have the animals the pals that you capture. And if you walk up to a tree or a rock and you just hit your cursor on it and say, "Hey, I want you to farm this," if that one's coded, it says, "Okay, I'll come over." It comes over and starts to farm the rocks for you. And then there's other ones that will bring the stuff, That's like the bare bones. This is doing everything that you say, and it does it on its own. So it'll be like, oh, I'm walking over here. I'm gonna farm the oxygen because I need oxygen in No Man's Sky. And then it goes, oh, we need other things. So it does it itself. So I started going down the rabbit hole, and I was like, where does this start and stop? Like, if we used a survival game, right? Like Conan or No Man's Sky or Fallout 76, right? If I don't have any friends, I bring in my co-op buddy, okay, where I tell him, hey, I'm done for the night, but I want you to continue farming stuff, right? So now you're basically gold farmers. You're a guy in an Asian part of the country just farming gold, but it's not really a person anymore. It's just an AI person farming whatever you need it to. Where do you lie, Sarge, as far as it's playing the game for you? You're not even playing the game at this point in those type of settings, right? It's farming the stuff for you. Is it the same as like a Power World, or is it different because it's doing everything that you don't want to do?
You're not going to like my take on this one. The idiocy about this just makes me laugh. If the devs have programmed a game or coded a game to where you have to harvest resources, and then you're going to give me the ability to have an AI character harvest resources for me so I don't have to harvest resources, then the end result of that is the devs no longer have to program me the thing to have resources for me to farm because I'm not the one actually doing it anymore.
Right.
There's no fucking purpose for that to exist.
Right.
Right. If you're wasting time coding a game for resource hunting and I can make an AI to do it for me, then that defeats the purpose of having resources in the game. Just give me the fucking resources, because that's the end result. The end result is I log on every day. I don't hunt for resources because they're already there. So if they're already there, then that means I didn't need to get them anyway.
Right.
The logic, the circular logic breaks itself. Right.
It would break the game.
You want the AI to play the game for you. So what? You're gonna watch your video game like on television. You're gonna program your AI guy to fight in a first person shooter thing for you, but not play it. How impressed will you be, right? That you set your AI to kill your friends. What an awesome day that will be for you. Like what?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
It's
right?
almost like putting a cheat code in. I would assume, right? Like I get the fact that we have companions in video games, right? Like, for instance, I played Marvel's Avengers, and when the game first came out, I was the Hulk, I would have Black Widow, Iron Man, and Captain America with me, and they would be on the mission with me, and they would kill things and break things and stuff, right? That's no different than what they're explaining to me, but the difference is that this can do itself. Like, it automatically is going to play the game and do its own things. So, in one hand, I'm like, oh, it's like a macro. You can just tell it what to do. In Power World, you can just click on the tree and say, farm the tree. But once that tree's gone, it's not going to farm a tree anymore, right? That's the difference. This is like, oh, a tree? I'm going to cut down a tree. Oh, another tree. And then it walks over to the other tree, and it starts to cut down that tree until it gets full, if it gets full. And then it has to walk back. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to go back and drop this stuff off. And then it just does it itself, right? It's just chopping trees and returning and doing all the stuff by itself. And it's like, at that point, earlier, I think, Jones, if you're here, I think you're the one that said it this morning, right? You're like, well, sometimes I just don't want to grind that stuff, right? Because it's just too much grinding. And at that point, I was like, well, if it's too much grinding, then why are you playing the game? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, you've lost interest in the game, so why are you forcing yourself to continue to play that game? I don't know if it was Jones that said it, but you see what I'm saying? Like, if it's at a point where it's doing the job for you because you don't want to do that job, then you don't really want to play that game anymore.
Yes, and no, because some people have been playing games that do that kind of thing for years.
Sure.
Where other people who are just starting to play video games don't know about that cycle.
People have been driving cars for years, but now the car drives itself.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying is no one's driving their car for entertainment purposes. Right, you're driving the car because you need to be somewhere. A video game is supposed to be entertaining. So originally,
have you seen Twitter or TikTok?
before you knew what the whole farming and fetch quest was and what the whole context of what those kind of games were, you found it interesting to go out and farm resources to build the things that you wanted to build. It was interesting to you. But after 15 or 20 years of doing the same shit over and over again, you no longer give a shit about farming resources to build yet another weapon. You've done it for 15, 20 years. I'm done with this shit. I would rather play something else. But lo and behold, there's going to be a whole new group of kids who have never spent hours and hours farming garbage. So thank God they made an AI for them to not have to farm the garbage.
Well, here's what I thought, because Melrose just said AI grinding is definitely useless. Can't have it gain value. As soon as I saw the value, I went, oh God. They're making this, and this will be like the end reward in the season pass at the very end at level 99, where you get to you get this companion that automatically does the stuff for you, or you can pay for this companion for $39.99 in the store, right? Make the problem, sell the solution. The problem is, if it's a grindy game and you don't want to grind, we can sell you AI that'll do it for you.
Yep, and that's exactly what they're going to do,
right?
And they're going to do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. And if you look at it, sort of like in Diablo, where you have the little loot troll that collects all the loot for you, and then they could charge that for you. They make the problem, sell the solution, right? There you go.
Standard. SOP, baby.
While third-party gold selling websites say otherwise? For what, Alternative? Were you having another conversation with, or you answering something that someone said, right? AI farming isn't the point. It's just to train the AI for other purposes. Yeah, but what it's doing, right? Let's just say it's not about farming. Okay, let's say it's not about farming. Let's say you're playing a Mass Effect type of game, which is just you and your co-op partner, your buddy. Okay, I'm playing the game. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. I don't need to hit pause anymore because my AI partner knows what to do. So we're getting attacked by people, and he attacks everyone himself, right? He slides behind the box. He shoots the thing, right? He gets up. He goes up. Attack. Just kills everything. And then you come back, and you're like, oh, well, everything's done. And then you move up forward, and then he starts to take out other things, right? Because it's still learning. It's learning all the time. It's becoming better at the game because it's playing more of the game. The less that you do, the more it does. And the more it does, the more it learns. And the more it learns, the more less you play. And the less you play, you're not even playing the fucking game anymore. That's the AI that they're talking about. The AI is constantly learning and playing the game and learning more about the game. Hence why when you see the clip, it's learning how to fly the ship and whatnot.
But they were talking about it on some level where, like, you tell them to fire at somebody and whatever else. And I find that voice-activated thing to be nonsense when a simple put your cursor over an enemy and press the button to tell him to attack target is much easier than trying to tell the AI what to do. Like, yes, would it be cool? Yeah, 5 years from now, where they it's a more interesting AI where you think he's a living guy, right?
Right.
You're playing a first-person shooter on a team, and he's actually one of the teammates. He's not your actual friend. He's just an AI friend, and you tell him what you're doing. Defensive formation. We're going to go attack that. We're going to go get to that house. Enter the house. Like, you have to keep talking while you're playing the game. Like, enter the house. Do this. Do that. Like,
they have games like that now, though.
I understand. We tried that shit before.
Yep.
Telling somebody what to do and just putting a cursor over an item and pressing the button to activate the actual command, I think it's just a lot quicker. Unless there's some other kind of thing happening.
There's no difference.
With your AI friend, he's going to tell you a story back when you first met, like it's an AI thing. Like, okay, I guess, but otherwise, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Am I playing the game or am I not?
Yeah, it's interesting to see and especially remember that Sony had patents for the game to play itself, right? To help you with puzzles and if you couldn't figure it out. No, it's still there. It's a patent. It's a patent.
They're
it's a
working
patent.
on it.
Right. Then you have the Call of Duty knows when you get killed by a certain guy, then it shows you the gun, so you go buy the gun, and there's a whole bunch of stuff with this AI stuff, right?
See what I think they're trying to do, and I know I might be going down the wrong rabbit hole here, but it stands to reason that all these gotcha games, that if I have an AI thing that knows what I want it to do because I tell it what to do, and then I just fund it while I'm not on my phone, I just fund it with money, so the AI uses that money to do the things that I can't play because I'm at work.
Yeah.
So I just keep funding.
It's a convenience fee. Yeah, it's a convenience fee.
Yeah. I'm funding the AI to do the job for me, as opposed to me having to get on and pay the money when I want to pay for something. I just have my AI do it for me.
This is what's going to happen. Are you ready? Here's the future. Right? Here's the future. Ready? You link up your phone to your video game because it's all going to be on the cloud. Right? So you're on the cloud. Yeah, you're on the cloud now. Right? So your phone, your guy, your companion in the game texts you while you're at work. It says, "Hey, would you like me to finish the house that we're building? And you're like, yes, please. Yeah, finish the house. And then it says, okay, it goes and finishes the house. You come back from work, you're like, oh my God.
Right. You're gonna get messages from you're gonna get messages from your AI companion that's playing the game while you're not
house
there.
Is complete, and you're like, oh, okay, great. Can you go out and get can you get the 50 iron that I need to
Honey,
who
are you texting? Shut up. I'm talking to my friend.
Yeah,
Which friend? I'm talking to my AI friend who's playing the game for me.
I'm talking to Destiny. Destiny, would you please?
Yeah. go kill Crota for me.
Melrose Mike. Thank you for the $10 super chat.
Ridiculous.
The $9.99.
Yeah, but Alter, that's what it's going to be.
AI beers on me.
Yeah, the AI will say we're only short $5 and I can build the house for you, and you'll be like, oh, I'll just add another $5 to the account.
Yeah, it's like
get the fuck out of here, man.
Like, sweetie. Well, who are you talking to? I'm talking to my girlfriend. In game. She's just building our house together. It's you though. It's you. I made you in the game. Yes, you're in the game.
Yeah, because that's what I want. I want somebody else to nag on me. That's what I want.
Hold on a second. I got another one. Wait. Well, I have 5 games going on at the same time.
I'm telling you, that seems like. Listen, I'm telling you, that seems like the logical conclusion. If I can have an AI bot play my game when I'm not there, it fits perfectly with the gacha games.
Yeah,
perfect.
Of course, yeah. It'd be interesting
because you have to be on, right, for timers to be working, right? So the AI guy could just be on the whole time and let timers tick away, and you just tell it what to do.
Right. Well, going from that, we're going to the most
Armageddon. That's where we're going to go.
Well, the most single-handled thing down to the gaming industry. This is going to change people's lives. This might save people's lives, Sarge. Right? This is the most important thing ever to be released in video game history. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the most important thing to ever release, analysts say. Okay, so let me read this a little bit. It says, Grand Theft Auto 6 stormed to the front page on every news feed worldwide when Rockstar Games revealed in December of 2023. It quickly broke viewership records and soared up the charts, setting industry records in fire in instant anticipation of what could be the fastest-selling game ever. Recently, Matt Piscatella, an expert analyst, sat down with Game.biz and discussed the financial outlook of the games industry and suggested that as a global community, need to see more overachievers like Pal World sending dives. Also suggested a Grand Theft Auto 6 will monumentally be important on what games will change the face of the industry. He says he has a rough year or so of the games industry. From over 16,000 layoffs in 18 months, the cancellation of the games looked phenomenal on paper, and the gamers industry workers worldwide have come to terms on with some intense struggles of late. He says, quote, this is going to be a rough year for 2000 to look towards 2025, and interest rates coming down and money becomes a little bit more free flowing to the devs and pubs. We should get a boost in development cycle again. We're going to get a renewed batch of interest in Grand Theft Auto 6 in particular. There'll probably never be a more important thing ever to release in the industry, so no pressure. Okay, so what do you think, Sarge, as far as Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Let's take two phones here, two forms. One, a world where we don't know that the stuff that the curtain didn't get pulled back. We didn't see the wizard. Sweet Baby Inc., ESG scores, DEI don't exist, right? Grand Theft Auto comes out. What does that look like? And now, what does Grand Theft Auto 6 look like with the shit that's going on now? You understand what I'm saying?
It's a lot. I mean, if the game is done like every other Grand Theft Auto, but it has added features, it'll probably be the highest selling video game of all time.
Right.
But if the game is somehow closet woke, some kind of narrative's going on, some kind of nonsense is happening, or whatever, then it'll be the greatest controversy game ever, and it'll still sell the most copies.
Yeah, I think in both areas, I think it could be the most important game, but not the way that they're saying it is. I think right now, because of what's going on in the game industry, because Grand Theft Auto is so polarizing, and because it always pushed against what the narratives were, it made fun of. It was satire. It's satire of what our lives are and stuff like that, right? If it stays like that and stays true to what Grand Theft Auto was in the past, then I think it's a win, and it does set a precedence, because then we know that not everything is woke or has an agenda pushing type of thing. Right?
No, that'll tell you that Rockstar funded their own game.
Sure.
Right.
You would hope they would, considering they haven't made a game in right.
They haven't made a game in 10 years. So yes, I think it's their money. So if it's their money, I don't think we're gonna have a problem. But if somehow the underbelly of the industry has gotten their claws into Rockstar on some kind of level where they're forcing them to do certain things because they're putting pressure on them in some way, then we'll know in the first day of the game coming out.
Now, if Rockstar comes out and does do the changes like we've seen in other games, then I think that's a major flaw in the industry, and it's going to get worse. But if Grand Theft Auto comes out and makes fun of white men, black men, straight men, gay men,
everyone,
gay women, lesbians, transgender, everyone. If everyone's on the table and everyone can be made fun of, then that's fine, right? But if you,
it should be,
right, and if it cradles and doesn't want to offend anybody in any way, shape, or form, then that's not Grand Theft Auto, right? And I think is more important what Grand Theft Auto is to what the game industry is. Now, obviously, we always joke about if Grand Theft Auto comes out on whatever month it comes out, no one's coming out with a game that month. Everyone's waiting with bated breath going, please. Because companies are waiting. Okay, we're going to release our game in March. What? Grand Theft Auto is coming out in March? Nah, they have to move it. We're moving it to next year, right? Like, they don't want anywhere near what Grand Theft Auto is. Now, my next question about Grand Theft Auto 6, Sarge, how do you think the online is going to work? Do you think they bundle it like they did before, where you pay for the game and then they have online that comes a couple weeks, maybe a month or so after, right? Or do they sell it separately as a standalone, so you don't even have to buy the regular version, you just buy the online version?
I don't know which way they would go on that way, because GTA 5 has made so much money, and they never added anything to the actual story of the game. They just added the other stuff. They never really added DLC to the game. Like GTA 4 did, right? It was just online stuff. So I'm not sure. I think they're in the position where if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think the only thing they have to worry about is being able to change over. Well, let's put it this way. They're going to have to double whatever servers they have right now. They're going to have to double it, because the transition from GTA 5 to GTA 6 is going to be pretty hectic the first couple days, right? If it sells the number that they want, right? Yeah. But we know they have those servers now because they've had them all this time, because they had to have them all this time. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're more prepared now, right? Will there be problems when that game goes online? If they changed a bunch of things that you can do inside the game, yeah, they'll probably have the same kind of issues, right? But that was a cluster when it first came out. When online first came out, it was 18, a giant cluster.
It was like 18 days. It didn't work.
But we'll see, right? Well, I'm too old to fall for the day one purchase anymore. I don't care, right? Once GTA comes out, I know GTA's out forever. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I get it on that Tuesday or next week or on my birthday or whenever it comes out. Like, I don't care, right? However, we know the cultural significance of what GTA actually is. And I think the closer we get, when you get a release date, the firestorm of stuff going to be talked about and shown about this game is going to be biblical.
Yeah. I agree, Krebsy. I think they sell it with it. It's bundled 100% because they want you in online. And if you buy the game and it's just an online added on, that's free entry into online. Everyone that bought the games gets it, right? There'll be people that don't even touch the single player aspect of the game. They'll just buy it for the online. And then down the road, they will sell it separate down the road once they get that saturation point of people that bought the game. I think 100% that's gonna work that way. I think I said this months ago. I think I have it in the Book of Bull, right? This will be the best pre-order game ever. This will be the #1 day sales ever. Week 1, month 1, month 6. It'll be the biggest game of the year. It'll win game of the year. And regardless if it's shitty or not, it's going to sell a shit ton of stuff if it's good or bad, regardless. Now, do they sell 1 billion or do they sell 2 billion? That's the difference, right? Because That's the amount of hype that this game has. This is a one in a generation, decade game that comes out that's going to be.
Well, it is now.
Well, it's been like that.
Grand
Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5.
But they don't come out with any other game.
Well, when I say generation, I meant that generation for console, right? But think about this. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out during the 360. The 360.
Yeah.
And then again for the One. And then again for the Series X and S, right? It's been out for fucking 3, almost, it could potentially be a 4 by the time.
See, I get the timeline all screwed up. When did it come out?
It came out in 2008. No,
at the end,
13.
At the very
13.
end of 360.
13 is when it came out. 2013, if I'm not mistaken, or was it 2012? I know it was 8 for 4.
September 17th, 2013.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, I was gonna say because Grand Theft Auto 4 came out in 2008.
Yeah, so we're at 11 years.
Yeah,
and that game's probably not going to come out probably until 26 or 25.
25 is the rumor. Yeah, 25 is the rumor.
Right. 25. It's not coming out until 25. So that's 12 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. So your gaming company doesn't make any more games. It just makes the one game, and it just sells microtransactions inside its online side, and you're able to keep your studio open for 12 years.
Yeah.
Right. That's the amount of money that Rockstar has.
Yeah, they're still coming out. They just came out with DLC like last week.
I know that, but what I'm saying is they didn't release any game for the last 12 years, and they're fine.
Well, no, they released Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
That was 5-6 years ago. That was 2018.
Okay, so the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
All
right, the last story I want to talk about is Spider-Man: The Great Web. Did you see the trailer for these? The 2 leaked trailers that came out? The Spider-Man: The Great Web. It's the multiplayer.
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show it because I don't want to get pulled down if they pulling down people because it's leaked. Anyway, a couple months ago, Insomniac got leaked about what games they're working on and whatnot, and there was an online game for Spider-Man. I'm assuming this is it. Okay, it came out just last week or earlier this week. I forget. Time flies now. But Spider-Man: The Great Web had a trailer drop earlier this week, and then they had a second trailer drop. Okay, now this is a 5-player co-op live service game that Sony canceled now. Okay, the trailers are super polished. Like, we're talking like if they showed this at Summer Game Fest, you'd be like, when's that dropping? Okay. It's kind of weird because we knew about the game about 2-3 months ago that they were working on something, and now Sony canceled, and obviously this is a live service game. And I find it funny because the internet's fun. It's a funny place, right? Because the same people that gave shit for Marvel's Avengers being a live service game and Suicide Squad being a live service game, some of those people, they have a crossover of, well, those games are bad, but this live service game would have been awesome because it's Spider-Man. Okay, and I just find it funny because it's like, of course, if you don't like certain brands, you're not going to like them and they're shit to you. But when a service comes along, that a game that you like, an IP that you like, then you're going to like the live service aspect of it. The game looks very... Are you looking it up? Is that what you're looking up? If the trailers look very polished. The voice actors did lines for it and stuff. I don't think this game's canceled. I honestly don't. I think... I said this a couple days ago. Okay, like when the first trailer dropped, I said that this is on the back burner. I think a lot of companies make games, make movies. They put them on the shelf. They don't touch them. Okay, and they can bring them out at a later date. I think before the leak happened, I think they were going to release this. Then when the leak came out, they're like, we're going to cancel this. But Helldivers is doing very well for Sony for the live service aspect of this. Okay, speaking of Grand Theft Auto, I think if Spider-Man does the exact same type of technique that Grand Theft Auto did, where this is not a standalone, like, put it out there and try to sell it, but if they add this to people that own Spider-Man 2, hey, you have Spider-Man 2? This is a DLC that we're just dropping in like Ghost of Tsushima, like Grand Theft Auto, where it's an online. I said this, Starfield should do the same thing. Hogwarts Legacy should do the same thing. All of these things should do the same thing with this type of content where they have an online type of aspect to add more content to the thing, right? So if you don't want to deal with that, you don't have to. You can just play the single player campaign, and then you don't have to play the online stuff. But with Insomniac, with the technology they have, with Ratchet and Clank, with the portals, and then in that trailer you see the portals open up. You could be as many Spider-Man as you want. I don't know if you've ever watched the new movies with Miles Morales, Sarge, the Spider-Verse and stuff. Did you watch those?
No.
Okay.
Is that a real trailer? Because that looks impressive.
That's a real trailer. There's 2 trailers out, right? 2 trailers, voice acted. Now there's a couple weird things in the trailer, like Gwen Stacy's Spider Girl or Spider Gwen, sorry, has the same move sets as Miles Morales, right? Like her animations are the same and whatnot. Minus that type of stuff, that looks really polished and it looks like it was ready to come out. And I can't imagine Sony, who is trying to make, at one point was trying to make 12 live service games in 3 years, then cut it down to 6, and then canceled a couple of them. This is canceled. I think this is canceled now because we know of it, but I don't think it's actually canceled. I think it's on the back burner.
I mean, that looks pretty impressive. It's a 5-player multiplayer.
5-player. It's Suicide Squad. It's Marvel's Avengers. It's Anthem. It's a live service.
But just Spider-Verse.
But just Spider-Verse. Yeah, with the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, obviously, maybe the technology, maybe they couldn't do it with the portal, and if 5 people separate and go across the major city, they could stop that, though. Like, if you start a mission, you're just in a small little area, and you're doing a mission together. But the premise of that game was you're fighting the Sinister Six, right? You're fighting the bad guys. And every time a game like this comes out, a comic book game, there's 2 things that I say that this game needs. Be as many heroes as possible, right? In this section is as many spider people as possible, okay? And fight as many villains as possible, right? And the Sinister Six starting off as the 6 villains. We just Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. You had 4, right? You're gonna have 6 over there, right? So it's very, very odd the way it is.
But you need to go back to boss mechanics. You need to go back to how you fight boss characters, and each boss fight be a little bit different and challenging, so you don't just walk over bosses.
Right.
Like in a game like that, you're supposed to learn the boss to figure out how to kill him. Right? It's not just a one and done. I don't know. I miss the days where the boss battle meant something, as opposed to the boss battle now is just the end of the level and I crush you and I just move on.
Well, here's another reason I think that it's planned leaked. Okay? Because what happens when something gets leaked?
There's no leaks, bro.
I know, but what happens when something gets leaked? They pull it.
A bunch of stuff.
No, they pull it. They'll DMCA people.
Yeah.
Right? Ain't nothing happening right now. These 2 trailers are out there. You just watched it on your phone. We're like 4 days deep into this. Okay? They're not taking
anything about it.
They're not taking any of these videos down. Why? Right? They're getting the barometer. They're seeing what's going on. What's the interest? What's going on with this? Right? We'll put it out there. And then it looks good because then nothing bad happens about this, because if it comes out that later down the line they're releasing it as DLC or bringing it out at a later date, everyone's like, we listened to you and we heard what you were saying and we liked our fans and here it is, right? There's nothing coming out for Spider-Man right now. Nothing. There's no movie. There's no animated movie coming out, but next year there is. There's supposed to be a movie coming out, I believe, in 2025 for the Miles Morales 3rd part of Into the Spider-Verse, whatever the 3rd part is. So it'll be very interesting to see if this game is actually canceled. I don't think it is. I think it's coming. I just think that they're using this as a barometer to see what
if they want to release it.
Putting feelings out there. Put some feels out there.
If they want to release it before the next movie comes out or before.
Right. Well, I think it'll be during. I think it'll be, either before, bringing in that extra, like, oh, there's a movie coming out. You could play the Spider-Verse here, right? Cross promotion. Right. If it comes out early, then they put people in the movie. Now you can be those people in the game, right? There's a lot of things they could do. And if they do it right, look, Insomniac makes great games. And if they can make I'll be honest, if they can make this and it comes out, I might pick up a Spider-Man on PlayStation. I might pick up a PlayStation Pro if it comes out for the PlayStation Pro, or I'll just wait for it to come out on PC and play it. But I'm interested, right? If it's a live service game and it's in Marvel and it's Spider-Man, I could be all different characters. I like Suicide Squad. I like Marvel's Avengers. They're both bad games. They're not great games, right? But they're not terrible games. And if Spider-Man is doing the same type of style, I'm okay with it. Let me try it.
It looks like it.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. I agree with that thought process, 30. If they copyright the Insomniac hack info from a few months ago, right? That's what I'm saying, right? They didn't say anything. They're not like, hey, they're just like, now cancel that. Right? I don't know. That's just my thought process. That's the way my brain works. Chat, we'll stick around for about 10 minutes or so. If you have a question for me or Sarge, that's all the stories we have on this episode. You can put at 30NSG in chat for members only. If you are a member, you can put at 30NSG and we'll answer your question. Well, I'll read your question. We don't have to answer your questions. If they're stupid questions, I'm not answering them.
I only see the one trailer. What's the other trailer?
There's 2 trailers. Just look up. It's a shorter version of the trailer. Yeah, the trailer looks great. The trailer looks great. Sorry. Yeah, I like doing these shows. Tomorrow we're doing a show with Lono. We're talking about Helldivers. I gotta think long and hard about the Helldivers stuff. I was in Lono's chat earlier and he was talking about the writers room. He was saying we're gonna talk about like what do we think endgame or type of stuff could they bring to Helldivers. So I gotta think about a couple things. Most of the time I probably won't think about it. I'll just shoot it right when it comes out of my mind. Might have to buy that. Thanks, L. I appreciate it. Yeah, hit that like button down below, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. If you'd like to go above and beyond it, become a member as little as $5. We do live shows, podcasts, uploads. We also been starting to put gameplay over on our other channel, 30 and Still Gaming. It's the same as our Twitter account up here. That should be like a YouTube logo and a Twitter account, but it's 30 and Still Gaming is a channel. 30NSG is a channel, and Nerding with 30 is also a channel. And tomorrow night, join me for our first episode of basically the same format I do in the mornings, Monday through Thursday, about talking about video games and topics. We're going to be talking about topics for entertainment, for TV, movies, whatever, for the night stream around 10:30 tomorrow evening. If you guys want to come out to our other channel, Nerding with 30, and we'll be doing the same format over there for entertainment. It'd be a little different because I get more passionate about projects and whatnot.
That seems like a weird trailer to leak,
right? Dave Langer says the perfect Marvel live service game would be the Insomniac X-Men game. There are tons of X-Men they could keep adding over time. Yeah, I mean, I'm already sold. Where do I buy it? 1 week after to make sure the online works because Star Wars broke me. I am not buying online games day one anymore. And if it does have an online mode and it has a single player mode, I'm gonna unplug my internet cable and just play offline. Let's see. How do you think Saber Interactive getting away from Embracer will affect KOTOR remake and Space Marines 2? Think those games still come?
I don't know. I want Space Marine 2 to come out, but I don't think it's coming out.
Yeah, the more and more I hear about this, Krebsy, I think that's a game that's just going to get lost in the fucking shuffle. I do. Because it was supposed to come out last year, and now it's supposed to come out in like August or September. That you might as well push that back one more time, right? You know, a lot of people don't want to hear this because I don't like consolidation. But if the company's struggling, someone's got to pick them up, right? Well, Microsoft. Phil Spencer's like, come on, I'll take you, Saber Interactive. We'll bring you into this fold over here, and we'll release your game, right? Something has to give. I feel bad. I feel bad for everyone that Embracer Group touches. The abrasive group over here is bad.
It just seems like there are a bunch of suits that decided to pool their money and buy a bunch of game companies and see if they can make money out of it. Is what it seems like.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Altern says, since AI will be used to grind, will people buy battle passes more and have AI grind the levels for them? I mean, that would be fucking stupid, wouldn't it?
But apparently that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with stupid people. That you would actually pay money.
I would hope not.
You would actually pay money for an AI bot to do the game for you so you don't have to play it. That sounds exactly where we are.
They would do it more. It'd be like gas prices, right? Pay cash, it's cheaper, but pay credit card, it's more. So if you have a bot, it'll be cheaper, but you have to pay for the bot. And then if you don't pay for the bot, then it'll be longer grind for you. L says 30. Can I buy you Snow Day?
What's Snow Day?
That's the South Park game. That's the South Park game.
Is it coming out?
It is. Is it end of this month or next month? L, here's the thing about buying games, right? If you buy it for me or not, if the game comes out and it doesn't fucking work, regardless if I paid for it or not, I'm pissed off because like I didn't pay for the Star Wars game, right? And I'm pissed off about it. I'm pissed off about it that I didn't even spend my money on it, and I'm pissed off about it. If you want to buy me Snow Day, I won't stop you, okay? Because I did want to play it, but at the same time, if it's a broke, buggy, unfinished fucking game, it's gonna get one stream from me and then it's done, right? So just putting that out there.
I mean, did you play the Stick of Truth?
Yeah, I played them all.
Did you play the Fractured Butthole?
Yep, I played them all.
Yep.
Yeah, I played them on stream. Oh, with the Nazi babies. It was fantastic. It was such a good. It was such. Both of those games are fantastic.
What was it? Was it the Stick of Truth or was it Fractured Butthole that Butters was OP? Is it the first one or the second one?
That was the second one because that's the It was Butters was the OP in the second
Butters
one.
Like super OP. Yeah.
30. Robert Jones says 30. Did you convince Sarge to play Helldivers? Haven't convinced him yet, but did you hear him earlier? He said he'll play Fallout 76 if we can find the code for him. Because Brainchild, one of our mods.
No, it wasn't Brain. It was.
Oh no, it was Tweak.
It was Tweak.
It was Tweak that bought it for you. Yeah. Tweak bought it for you. So I have to help Sarge find his code in within the messages. Let's see. What else? The suit says started live service, pull their money. Krebsy says, do you think that with Epic Universe opening soon, the tides will change in Orlando? Because it seems that Disney parks are making money, but aren't really doing anything new in decent amount of time. Well, I could have my own channel. I actually did start a Disney channel on YouTube. I won't tell you what the name of it is.
They raised the prices again, bro.
Yeah, they change them all the time. They are making stuff in Disney, but they went through when COVID hit, they wrecked shop. There was stuff that the parks still make money. Don't let anyone fool you. The parks still make a shit ton of money. That's the only reason Disney's staying afloat is because of the parks. The parks make the money. They add a bunch of stuff, but 1,000% Universal's smashing it out of the park when Epic Universe opens up, okay, in 2025. That's going to be slammed. Universal Studios is packed all the time. Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios section part, the water park that they just opened up, and then they have Epic Universe opening up. They're smashing it out of the park, man. They're doing it right. Disney still does things right, but they had big dreams. There's murmurs right now that there's been lookouts, that there's land out there that they're thinking about building another park. It's not going to happen anytime soon. They're saying earliest where they break ground is like 2028. But there's murmurs out there that they're trying to think of another park to open up. They might open up like a villains park type of thing where it just might be a park of villain theme type of thing. So they do have money, but they scaled back a lot of stuff. There were supposed to be so many rides and new things. Epcot was supposed to have all this new stuff. They were supposed to open up a new
They're hemorrhaging money.
They were supposed to open up a new
they've lost
country.
like $10 billion like in the last 8 years.
Yeah. But the parks are still profitable. They've lost the money with the streaming service, the movies, and all their other, which is fucking retarded if you think about it, because they own every single large IP on the planet, and they're like Hasbro. They have like G.I. Joe and Transformers. Like, I don't know what to do with this. What do we do? They could write a book, How to Destroy IPs in Less Than 5 Years. Right? Star Wars destroyed it. Right? Marvel destroyed it. They had Power Rangers, and they sold it. They destroyed it, right? They get stuff and they destroy it. It's amazing. Dupla says, I'm going back to the place at Disney World where I stayed for my Make-A-Wish trip this year when I go to Florida in August. What's that place? Is it a place at Disney, or is it there's like a standalone section that's close to Disney where Make-A-Wish people go. I forget what the it's not Make-A-Wish, Make a Night, Make a something. I forget what it is. If you're here, Dupless, and you want to hang out, give me a call. Hit me up on it's called Give Kids the World. That's it. Yes. They do it. They do a wonderful we actually donate money to them every single year. They have this beautiful, when COVID was happening, they opened up there's a bunch of houses and condos and hotels there, and they decorated the entire place with lights, and they opened it up to the public. It's never opened up to the public before, and now every year they did it. I think they closed it again where it's private again, or they privately put certain things off. But it's an awesome place for kids, and it's a wonderful cause for kids to spend their last days on the planet there. So, and they make it. They celebrate every single holiday in 1 week for these children. Right? It's an awesome place. Yeah. Oh, do you really? Yeah, it's cool. You go inside that the tree, and they had this giant tree, and they Disney animators and stuff came there, and they built this whole thing for them. They have this cool train set. There's like a carnival place. They have these pools, wave pools and stuff. It's a wonderful little place that they built there. So yeah, if you're in town, hit me up. We'll go to dinner, we'll get a drink, we'll do something. All right, that's gonna do it for episode 387 is in the can. We do appreciate you for coming out and hanging out with us here on Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do lots of different shows on here. We do uploads, live streams, podcasts. If you guys could do me a favor, besides hitting that like button, subscribe button, if you do know a YouTuber that you watch and like, and you would like me to try to reach out to them to interview them, hit me up in Discord. There's a whole section. You can put it in the feedback section. There's a guest section. Put the person that you would like to see come on my show. I'll reach out to them. I do all my own publicity, put emails and stuff out there for them. So if you have a contact with another content creator and you want me to interview them, or they would like to be interviewed, hit me up. All right, help us out, because I'm trying to make content for you guys, and it's really hard as a one-man show to try to get all this stuff. I don't know who's out there. A lot of people I watch. I do have one leading up to. I watched him. I've been watching him for years. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we're trying to set up a time. So hopefully sometime in early April or sometime in April, we'll have him on the show. Again, I appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.